Hey guys, how you doing? It's Scott here. Remember me? Scott from phasingplayer.com. I thought I'd go live today a little earlier than usual. I'm usually more of an afternoon streamer, but I thought today, hey, why not do it a little before lunch? I hope everyone's cool. I hope everyone's doing well. Had a good weekend. Had a good week. I've been doing all right. Been kind of busy, so I haven't been putting out too much stuff lately. But I expect that'll ramp up. I've got an interview I did with Tom Russell just recently that I'm going to be editing and posting soon, and a couple edited videos that I've been working on that hopefully will come up in the next week or two. I might have one coming toward the end of this week. Otherwise, it'll be, I think, the week after. But that is in the future, and today we're living in the present, but it kind of in the future too. Because we're going to play some Stellar Horizons, a game that just came out very recently, actually, from Compass Games. And it takes place in the very near to distant future. It is a space, I guess like a space industrialization game. When I first learned about it, I kind of thought it was going to be like High Frontier, and thematically, I guess it's kind of similar, but it plays a whole lot differently than that. I'll give kind of an overview of how Stellar Horizons works and explain the rules as I go. It is honestly not that complicated of a game. It has some fiddly bits. The rulebook I struggled with a little, and I hope that I will be able to get through this without looking in the rulebook too much. We are playing the first scenario the game lays out, which is the Race for the Red Planet. It is a timed game to get to Mars and build a bunch of settlements. And I'll explain what all that means in just a minute. Hello, a few people that are saying things in chat. I'm happy to have you here. Why don't we jump to the board or the play table? There's not really a board. And I will start explaining broadly what the game is like, what I'm going to be doing in this scenario, and then we'll get to it. I expect this is going to take the scenario and the few times I've played it. It's taken roughly 2 hours, so I expect this to be maybe a little longer than that because I'll be talking and doing other stuff. But expect roughly 2 hours for this playthrough, and we'll see if we win or not. So let's go ahead and switch to the board. Okay, this is the game set up for the Race for the Red Planet scenario. It is not that big. It doesn't take up that much table space in this sort of configuration. The game, however, in different scenarios or in the big grand campaign, takes up a stupid amount of table space. And maybe afterwards we can take a look at some of the components for the game that I'm not using right now, and we can talk about what the bigger picture is. Because this scenario will not be touching on everything this game offers. Okay, so what is Stellar Horizons? Like I mentioned before, it is sort of a space industrialization game a little bit. Not maybe as direct as something like High Frontier where you're building actual factories. You're building other things here, though I guess some industrial factories too. I guess what I would probably call this game is sort of a 4X game, a little light on a couple of the X's, maybe more like a 3X game or like a 3.5X game. For those that don't know, 4X is probably should be 4E, but it is a type of game. Most notably, I guess, would be like the Civilization video game series. But there's also like Twilight Imperium in the board game world and other things too. But 4X or 4E stands for exploration, exploitation, expansion, and exterminate. And basically what it means is you're going to explore a space, you're going to expand your empire, you're going to exterminate your foes, and you're going to exploit that world for like resources and production. And you do a lot of this in this too. Is that looking a little out of focus? It's kind of hard. There we go. Anyway, sorry about that. So in this game, in regards to it being a 4X game, you are going to be exploring parts of the universe by investigating these different worlds and seeing what kind of terrain is there and what kind of resources they have. You will be expanding your influence with bases. I'm just going to turn this down a little. Well, no, that should be fine. Let me know if you guys can see this okay. It looks a little bright on my screen, but also this monitor I'm using is not very good. So anyway, you're going to be using these bases to establish influence in different areas. You have a handful of bases you can build, and that'll allow you to do fancy stuff at them. You will be collecting resources from various sites out in the galaxy, and there is potential for conflict, either through AI, or AI is not really the right word, but with space pirates, or other players. This game does support up to 7 players, which is kind of crazy. I think playing this with 7 players would be wild and probably a really fun convention game. Right now, with the state the world is in, I don't see myself playing this with anybody, let alone 6 other people, but it does support up to 7 players. And so what you're going to be doing in the game, like I said, is all that kind of stuff. Building bases in different areas, collecting resources to build new ships, to make those bases more robust, and trying to get victory points, or at least victory points in most of the scenarios. In the scenario we are playing, it's a race. It is a race to build 20 settlements on Mars before the year 2070. We start, if we want to talk about kind of the turn structure here, the game is broken up into yearly turns. Every turn will advance this 1 year, and every 10 years, you will advance the tracker 1 decade. Okay, so the game ends when we get to the end of the year 2069. Going into 2070, the game will end and we'll see if we won or not. The individual years are broken up into a series of actions. Now, the game comes. This game is kind of cool. It's got really nice components in a lot of ways, but it comes with kind of funny production quirks. The player aids in the game are these 8-page. Let me turn this down just a smidge. Sorry for the adjustments here live on screen. So these player aids are just 8-page sequence of play excerpts from the full rulebook. And the game comes with 7 of them, which is kind of silly. I've printed out a more legitimate player aid from Board Game Geek. This is a lot of info. I laminated it so you can write on it, but I might be referencing stuff off here now and again as we play. It's got the technology here. But, sorry, that was a quick aside. The game is played out over 6 phases. Okay, there is every 10 years you will do an economics phase. So typically a year will start with a build and service phase where you can build new ships and service existing ships. A movement phase where you move your ships around the sites that you have laid out, in this case Venus, Earth, and Mars. A combat phase, if there are any space pirates or opposing factions I need to deal with, I can fight them, or they can fight me. An exploration phase, where I'm going to roll some dice and see if I find anything on these sites where I'm looking. And finally, a trade and base building phase. Trade is going to come in probably not very much in this game, but base building will certainly come in. I'll be building actual bases and expanding those bases with facilities. There are a bunch of different facilities. They're all double-sided too, that you can use to give your bases new abilities or production opportunities. So those are the things that we're going to be doing in this game. Building ships, moving around, exploring things, trying to get resources, ultimately making 20 settlements out here on Mars. So I guess let's say, how do you build a settlement? Well, the first thing you need is a base. To build a base, you're going to need a crewed vehicle, crewed as in a vehicle that has crew on it, not like a low-tech vehicle. You need a vehicle with crew, which are represented by these CV tokens, to bring the necessary resources to this location. Then, in the final phase of a round, you may build a base. The way you make settlements is in that same base building phase at the end of every year, you may use resources at that base to build any of the facilities. And wouldn't you know, one of the potential facilities is a settlement. And so once we have 20 settlements, that will be considered a major victory. If we have, I believe it's 15 settlements, it'll be considered a minor victory. And that's only for the solo game. For the multiplayer scenario for this, it's the first one to 20 settlements on Mars. So I'm going to be trying to get at least 15, but ideally 20. All right. So I think with that sort of idea in mind, I can just mention what some of these pieces are. Otherwise, we'll describe the exact rules more in depth as we play. I think that'll be the easiest. That way, it's not too much upfront information. So we have here, I'm playing as Europe. There are 7 different factions in the game. See if I can remember them. There is Europe, which I am. There is North America, which is comprised of Canada and the United States. There is the coalition of South America and Africa. There is Asia, Japan, China, and Russia. A cool thing about the game is all of the factions have different starting ships. They have different like production. Every 10 years, they'll automatically collect different amounts of money or resources. They have different abilities. So Europe has the ability where they get to roll extra dice when they're using telescopes to explore, whereas America researches new technology more easily. They also have their ships are very different. They I believe get different settlement bonuses when they have enough settlements out, but those might be the same. I don't remember. But my point is the different factions are very different. And I have not played as Europe before. I've been learning the game as North America, and so I'm kind of interested to see how Europe plays compared to America. They're a little more exploration focused, and they will get more technology points, essentially, every 10 years. So we'll see how that turns out. Now, before we actually start playing the game, I guess this is part of playing the game, I want to talk for a moment about my general strategy and the flow that I'm going to be trying to maintain in this game. This game is very much about planning, and I am going to be discussing a little bit my thoughts as to what I'm going to try to do each decade. Because you only get more money and new technology every 10 years, you kind of want to plan your turns in 10-year chunks, right? You want to make sure that you have an idea of what you're going to do with your money for that decade, what technology you're going to need for the coming decade, and try to stick to those plans and hope they work out, because there are dice in this game. The dice are used for exploration, but also you roll dice every time anything moves, and there's a chance that when something moves, it gets destroyed. So that is something you can't plan for as much, but you want to try as best you can. So for this first decade, excuse me, for this first decade, I need to research a couple of key pieces of technology, okay? I need to be able to get my crew vehicle to Mars. By default, your crew vehicle cannot move outside of Earth's sort of orbit, right? So you can hang out around Earth, you can go to the near-Earth asteroids, and you can go to the moon. But a crew vehicle can't go further until you research technology that allows your crew vehicle to go further away from their supply bases. So that is technology I'm going to need because Mars is one step away from Earth. The other thing I'm going to need, in the case of me playing Europe, is I'm going to need my crew vehicle to be able to be level 3. Crew vehicles, actually all vehicles, are level-based. You have level 2 through 8 for crew vehicles, and as they get to be higher level, they cost more, but they also get more abilities and they can do more. The important thing for Europe is they need crew vehicle 3 to carry any cargo. I start with a crew vehicle 2, okay? So I need to be able to build level 3 crew vehicles so I can carry cargo out to Mars and build that base. And I would love to build a base out at Mars in the second decade of the game, in the 2040s. So my 2 goals are going to be to collect a bunch of physics research. Technology is broken into 3 categories: biology, physics, and engineering. I need some physics research in order to allow my crew vehicles to go further. And then I'm going to need engineering research in order to make a higher level crew vehicle that can actually carry goods to build bases. So those are the two goals I have for this first decade. And really, I start in the year 2032, so I only have 8 years to do this. The way I will be trying to achieve those goals, I feel like I'm pitching to like a board here. Like, this is my proposed budget and what I intend to do with it. And I'm hoping that you will grant me the money that I need. What I'm going to do for research is go to these 3 places for engineering research and go to Venus for physics research. Each place has a little explore value on it, and it'll come with one of 3 colors, either green for biology, blue for physics, or gray for engineering. These 3 offer engineering opportunities. These 2 offer physics opportunities, and these 2 offer biology opportunities. What I'm going to do, because a crew vehicle can only go within Earth's orbit, I'm going to be building a crew vehicle 2 and sending them probably to the moon and have them explore the moon, hoping to get some engineering research. I'm then going to use a telescope and probably an orbiting vehicle with maybe a planetary probe to go probe Venus for physics research. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the first decade, building those things, sending them to those locations, and trying to figure out as much as I can to get that research. I need to get to 15 physics research in order to get my my further crew range, and I'm going to need to get to a much higher 25 engineering research in order to build crew vehicles level 3. Every 10 years as well, I will automatically collect some of those goods. So I will get 5 physics research at the start of 2040, as well as 2 engineering and 2 biology. And yeah, so that is what I'm going to try to do. That is my goal. So why don't we go ahead and start playing? Let's start with the start of the yearly phase, which is building and servicing ships. This is where I can build ships. Now I have money, and money is represented in billions of dollars. This scenario starts me with $40 billion. To build ships, you have to spend resources. There are 3 types of resources in the game. There's fuel, there are supplies, and there is this other one, which name I don't remember, but it is basically like material goods of some sort. So this is like metal and stuff you use to build things. This you fuel up with, and this is like crew supplies. You can get these from different places, which is where the bulk of them will probably come from later in the game. But right now, I'm just going to buy them. And you can buy whichever kind you want in any amount you want on Earth. But it costs you money. It costs you $1 billion per resource, okay? So if I'm going to be building a launch vehicle, which I'm going to need a launch vehicle in order to get off of Earth. Earth has a pretty deep gravity well, and I'll need one of these to bring stuff out of Earth. A launch vehicle is going to cost me 1 of these materials and 2 of these fuel, okay? So that's going to cost me $3 billion to build this level 2 launch vehicle. Why level 2? Because I want to bring a level 2 crew with it. And those levels need to at least match. The level of the launch vehicle needs to at least be the level of the crew vehicle. So I'm going to build a level 2. I'll put the stuff I'm building here for right now. I'm going to build a level 2 launch vehicle as well as a level 2 crew vehicle. The launch vehicle cost me $3 billion, and this crew is expensive. It's going to cost me $9 billion for this. Okay, so this is going to cost me 9, 10, 11, 12 billion. So it's 10 billion, 12 billion. Okay, and I start with 40, so I've already spent more than a quarter of my money. I also, like I said, I want to get a telescope out. So this telescope is going to cost me 3 billion. So I can just take these 3. Actually, you know what? do this. Bring the 2 back, put the 5 out. So that is 15 billion I'm spending. I'm going to need a launch vehicle to get that telescope up too. So let's build this level 1 launch vehicle, which costs another 2 billion. I'm also going to want probably an orbiter. So you have a few different kind of robotic vehicles. You have 3 broad classes of ships. You have launch vehicles, which carry stuff off of Earth, and that's it. You have crew vehicles, which are required for building things, but they can also explore. And you also have robotic explorers, which can't build and can only explore. Now, robotic explorers have some subclasses. There are orbiters, which only orbit planets, and they never leave. I should say, once a robotic vehicle gets somewhere, it stays there forever. They can only move with launch vehicles. So if I send this orbiter out to Venus, it is going to stay there until it falls apart. So I have orbiters, which orbit a site. I have telescopes, which only hang out in Earth's orbit, but they can explore any site in the entire galaxy, however at a penalty. I have rovers, which are very good at exploring, and they can only explore from on a planet's surface. So you have to get them out there, and that can be a little harder. I have probes, which are one-time use. They're super, super good at exploring. They have to be carried by an orbiter or a flyby robot, and you shoot them into a planet's surface. They get eaten up by the game, but they're super good at exploring. They're probably the best at exploring. They're also very cheap. And finally, as I mentioned, sorta, I have flybys. Flybys are a little funny. You send them to a location, and they will go from that location, and they'll progress further and further into the galaxy until they disappear. So they're a little more limited use, whereas an orbiter will stay there until it gets destroyed. So you could explore a million times with an orbiter. This flyby probably is only going to get 1 or 2 exploration attempts before you got to rebuild it and do it again. So I'm going to opt to build a telescope, and then I'm going to opt as well to build an orbiter. And I'm going to build this Newton orbiter. They all have names. It's just flavor text. I'm going to build this Newton orbiter, and it's going to cost me $4 billion. So let's change this 10 out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's going to cost me $4 billion. So 2, 4. Okay, so that is kind of what I'm thinking of building right now. I've got a telescope, I've got a crew vehicle, I've got an orbiter, and I've got 2 launch vehicles. Let me think about that for a sec. I can always build more next year if I decide I want something different. The stuff I have here is probably okay. It's probably all right for right now because I want to go hardcore in exploring, right? I want to get stuff out there. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's build those things. So I'm going to spend all this money. I have remaining $19 billion. And at the start of 2040, I will get another $28 billion to spend. Okay. All right. So that is going to be my shipbuilding. Now, I can buy resources. I can exchange billions of dollars for resources at any time. But you're really only going to want to do it during movement or shipbuilding. Anyway, so that is shipbuilding. I'm done with that, and now we're going to move. So in order to move, I need to get these things off of Earth. So let's go ahead and bring the telescope into Earth's orbit, and let's bring my crew vehicle up as well, and we'll send it to the moon. So when I launch with a launch vehicle, I will dictate what it's carrying. In this case, it's carrying my telescope. And that is going to launch up to here, okay? Now, the launch vehicle always succeeds in getting to its destination, or almost always. But it will get destroyed in the process, unless I have the technology that allows me to reuse launch vehicles. In this Race for the Red Planet scenario, I start with every level 1 technology, one of which is reusable launch vehicles. So what I'm going to do right now is roll these percentile dice. Whenever anything moves, you must make a percentile die roll. On a result of, at the start of the game, it's 5%. So on a result of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, the stuff that's moving will get destroyed. You make it once. You don't make it for each section it moves to. So if let's say this telescope can't leave Earth, but let's pretend it's going to go to Mars. It would leave Earth on the launch vehicle, go to the flyby, transfer from the flyby to this number 1 heliocentric zone. I'll explain all that in a bit. And it would end its turn there. I would not make a roll for each step of that. I would make one roll, and if it succeeds, if it passes the roll, it makes it to its destination. Okay. Part of that roll is also going to be my chance to get the crew vehicle or the launch vehicle back. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my launch vehicle up here with the telescope. I'm going to roll these dice. If I get 26 or higher, the launch vehicle is preserved and the telescope makes it just fine. If I roll a 5% or lower, these are all destroyed. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll these dice. And I got, it looks like a 32. So no problem on all those things. The launch vehicle will go back into my supply area, which I will put down here. And the telescope makes it up into Earth's orbit. I'm also going to launch my crew vehicle up into the orbit. It's then going to go to the moon and try to explore this turn. So let's go ahead and make that roll again. 26% or higher, and everything is cool. If I get too low, though, stuff might get destroyed. And I got a 32%. No problem. This makes it to its destination. Okay, that's preserved. And my orbiter is just going to hang out on Earth for right now. Okay, so after movement, we would then go into combat. There's no combat to deal with right now. And so after this, we're going to go right into exploration. Eric asking if it's available. It is available. If you can get it from Compass directly. It has an MSRP, I think, of $150 but it's on sale right now for like $130. I got mine from Noble Knight, and it was $120 I believe. Plus, I live kind of close to Noble Knight, so shipping was like $8. This cost me less than $130. It is an expensive game. There's a lot of stuff in here. I would say it's worth the price, but know that it is a pricey game. Anyway, so I've made all my moves. I'm now moving into exploration. For exploration, I simply say, what is exploring where? In this case, the telescope has unlimited exploration range. It can explore Mars. It can explore this comet outside of Mars. Whatever it wants, it can explore. However, it is going to explore at half the value of that site. As I mentioned before, all these places have little boxes down here with colors and numbers. I don't know if you guys can see the numbers or not, but the number inside is the exploration value. And what I'm going to do is take the value in the little green circle on my vehicle exploring, add it to the exploration value, and if that total is 10 or more, I will successfully explore that site, and I will draw blindly an appropriate little chit here that has a number of 1, 2, 3, or 5 on it. And that will be how much tech I get, how many tech points I get for that class. And those are going to be accumulated and then added to this board over here every 10 years. However, telescopes, even though they have amazing range and can explore all over the place, they're going to have the value of the site they're exploring. So this 4 is actually only a 2 for the telescope. So 2 plus 2 is 4. That's not 10. That doesn't mean I don't find anything, though. I will also roll one of these red dice for every fraction, for every remaining portion less than 10. So let's say my total here is 4. I don't automatically get to explore, but I can roll this, and if I get a 4 or less, I will draw the appropriate chit. Okay, and if I got 14 somehow, then I would get 1 for free because I have at least 10. And then that 4 remaining allows me a die roll. On a 4 or less, I get a bonus chit. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. When stuff explores, though, there's also a chance it fails. robots can malfunction, and right now for me, my malfunction rate is 27%. So I'll roll these percentile dice, and if I get a 27 or lower, my robot dies. It malfunctions, and no one's out there to fix it, so it falls apart, and I remove it from the board. I'll put it back into my stock, and I can rebuild it. So anytime I make an exploration roll, I'm going to roll 3 dice at least. And that's going to determine if my thing falls apart and if I get any bonus exploration. Okay? As Europe, I have a little friendly bonus here, a friendly ability. I have the astronomy ability. I roll an extra die for space telescope exploration and choose 1 to keep. So I will roll 2 of these red dice, and I will pick the lower one to hopefully get my exploration. Okay? So we're going to explore at the telescope, and we are going to explore, let's explore out in Venus. Okay? So Venus has, because remember, we need physics tech in order to allow these crewed vehicles to go further. Venus has an exploration value of 6, so I'm going to have that for the telescope to 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. As long as one of these red dice is a 5, I will get some physics research. All right? And I want 28 or higher on the percentile dice. Oh, well, okay, I got 22 on the percentile dice, so my telescope will fall apart. However, it does successfully explore. I got a 2 and a 3, so either one of those is 5 or less. And so now I have this little cup here that I'm going to mix up and draw out one at random to see how much physics research I get. And I got a 1. So that's 1 physics research. Remember, I need 15 physics research in order to get my thing. I think I said 25 a minute ago. I had 25 engineering research. I need 15 physics research. And I'll get 5 automatically for being Europe in 2040. So I really only need 10 physics research. And I have 1. Okay? Now my crewed vehicle is going to explore. The moon has a value of 4. I'm not having it because I'm not using a telescope. And I have technology. Again, in the Race for the Red Planet scenario, you get all level 1 technology for free. Normally, I'll show you guys the tech tree real quick. It's pretty big. This is all level 1 technology over here. Okay. As you see, these are all connected. Different factions normally start with different tech. It's noted on here which ones. But right now, I've got all of these, regardless of who I'm playing as. As you research new things, you get access to other things. And in the campaign, there are some super techs that are a victory condition. But right now, I'm trying to get to this one, Advanced Astrodynamics. So I need to research that. Andrew Brown, yes, thank you. I regularly forget and have to go back. When you have a robotic explorer fall apart, you learn from your failure. And so you get to draw engineering tech as well. Just because your thing falls apart and you fail, you'll learn something from your failure. So I got a 2. So I also have 2 of my engineering tech on my way to 25. Anyway, so now my crew vehicle is going to explore. One of the tech I have gives my crew vehicles +1 exploration. So this guy's actually exploring at a 6. And the moon has an exploration value of 4. So that's 10. 6 and 4 is 10. I'm not going to roll these red dice because there's no fractional after I use that 10 for auto drawing one. But I do have to roll and see if this thing is recalled. Now, crew vehicles get recalled more easily than robotic vehicles. Where it was a 27% chance this gets recalled. I think 27. Yes, 27% chance. It is a 47% chance my crew gets recalled. It's not quite as bad, though. I don't lose the crew. I just have to repair it. So I'm going to roll this, and I got a 9. So that's not ideal. My rolls are not great so far. So this will get flipped over to its reserved side. It's not dead. It just has to go get repaired. Now, if I had a base in Earth's orbit with the proper facility, I could go repair it there. But in this case, I'm going to have to go back to Earth. And it'll cost me a couple bucks to repair this. But I do get my engineering tech, though. My engineering research. So let's go ahead and draw that. And I got a 2. Kind of like how with my robotic guy falling apart, I got engineering research. Whenever a crew is reserved, you get biological research. Because again, you learn from your failures. And I got a 1 in biology. All right, so that is it for exploration. I have nothing else out here to explore. and so there's no more exploration to do. The next phase is base construction and trading. Trading won't really happen this game. I mean, it could. There are non-player factions that could make bases that I could go trade at. We'll see if that happens. It's a die roll every 10 years. And this is also where I would construct bases or upgrade bases. I don't have any bases, and I don't have the means of making one right now, so I won't do anything there. I advance from year 2 to year 3. And then we do it all again. So hopefully, broadly, you get an idea there of how this game sort of flows. And we're going to move a little quicker through these turns now. So first thing I need to do is build and service ships. I can't service this thing out here, but I think, going to rebuild that telescope. Because I would like to get that telescope to just keep exploring Venus, ideally. So let's rebuild my telescope. It's going to cost me a couple $billion, but that's okay. Is it a couple? It's 3. It's $3 billion. Couple plus 1. All right. And that's all I'm going to build. Now it's movement. I am going to move this guy back to Earth. And I'm going to roll to see if it falls apart. And I got a 93. It does not fall apart. So it successfully makes it back to Earth. I will then have a launch vehicle launch. Let's launch the orbiter this time. Let's bring my orbiter into space. Maybe we'll do both. So the orbiter is going to get launched by this launch vehicle. And it is going to go from here to the flyby zone. And it's going to zip all the way over to... I was going to say bringing it to Venus. I think I might bring it to Venus. Because I do need that physics research. So let's bring the orbiter out to Venus. Okay? I'm going to roll these dice. 26 or higher, my launch vehicle survives. 6 or higher, my orbiter survives. And I got a 72. No problem. That survives. The launch vehicle is good to go. I'm also going to have my other launch vehicle boost my telescope back into space. Same results. That is a 13. So my telescope survives, but my launch vehicle, unfortunately, does not. I'm going to have to rebuild that. Bummer. So now I'm going to go into movement. At the start of, or sorry, I've already moved. So I'm going to go into the exploration rather. So telescope is going to explore. Let's have it explore. I guess I need engineering, so let's just have it explore Phobos and Deimos. No, let's do the moon. Let's do the moon. The telescope is going to explore out there again because of my astronomy ability. I get to roll 2 dice for telescope exploring. So roll these. I got a 43. It does not fall apart. I got a 7 and a 3. I'm going to use that 3 because I want low on the red dice. Because this 2 and this 2 makes 4. 3 is lower than 4. Therefore, I successfully explore the moon. So let's draw some engineering tech. And I got a 1. And that is all for the exploration this turn. We now go into base building and fixing up. Now I am going to fix up this ship here. I'm going to, actually that'll be next turn. So base building, no base building happens. Next turn, it is now ship building and ship maintenance. I am going to maintenance my crew vehicle, okay? I need to spend a fuel and one of those other, the gray bits. I should look up what that is. This is the materials, the building materials, I guess. It cost me $1 billion each, so I'm going to exchange this 5 for 3. It cost me $2 billion to repair my crew vehicle. I'm also going to rebuy my launch vehicle level 2, which is going to cost me $3 billion. I'm getting a little low on money. I have $11 billion right now. Okay, so I've repaired my crew vehicle 2, and I have rebuilt my launch vehicle 2, which is the one that fell apart. I will then have my launch vehicle 2 launch my crew vehicle, the Odyssey, out back into space. And it's going to attempt to go to the moon. All right, so roll these 2 black dice. I want a 26 or higher, and I got a 10. It's killing me here. The crew vehicle survives. The launch vehicle is once again destroyed. Fuel and supply, thank you. I could not remember. I usually do a lot of this from Earth, and so it's just money, really. But you're right, it is fuel and supply, not fuel, because I'm not rebuilding the vehicle. I'm refueling it and supplying the people on board. So anyway, unfortunately, my launch vehicle is once again destroyed, but my crew vehicle makes it to the moon. Exploring time. Telescope, go ahead and... actually, movement. Start of movement also. This is maybe a good time to explain how you get to different sites and what all these numbers mean. So at the very first thing you do on the movement phase is you degrade anything in these heliocentric transfer zones one step lower. They have these arrows pointing the direction they go. So when I transferred this thing from Earth to Venus, you put it in the heliocentric number based on the distance that you're traveling. So Earth is a value 0. Probably can't see it, but there's a little 0 here. Venus is -1. It's all in relation to Earth. So Venus is -1 from Earth, it's going that direction. Mars is +1, going in this direction. Further out things are +2, +3, +4. Mercury would be -2. You put the thing traveling into the number based on the distance. So because Earth is 1 away from Venus, I put it in this 1, okay? If Earth was 4 away from the site I was going to, I'd put it in that 4. At the start of movement, so before I launch anything or move anything around, I would degrade this 1 step, okay? It's sort of traveling to that location. Once it gets into the flyby zone, it can then move around like normal, okay? So I moved the orbiter into the 1, and then at the start of this turn, I should have degraded it into the flyby. Then when I launch everything and move everything around, I am able to also move the orbiter into the orbit of Venus, which is where I want it to be. So it's moving into Venus. You don't roll when it's going through the heliocentric transfers. You only roll when it's moving out of that flyby. So I'm rolling now to see if my orbiter falls apart. I want a 6% or higher. And I got a 75%. Where is that roll with my launch vehicle? So it is now in the orbit of Venus. Now it's exploration time. Let's just do left to right. So the orbiter is going to explore Venus. It has an exploration value of 3. Venus has an exploration value of 6. That is 9. Not an automatic success, but a pretty good chance of succeeding. I'm going to roll all 3 of these dice at once to check for failure at 27%. I got a 35, and I got a 4 on the red die. That 4 is lower than this 9, which means I successfully find cool stuff about physics around Venus. And I got a 5. That's a big one. And I'm glad I got that. A fun thing happens when you get 3 or higher on your research. You get to do what's called a depletion. You are depleting that site of what it has available. A depletion gives you a few things, okay? Bust this out to make sure I'm getting these right. So, first, if you are using missions, which you can use missions, the rules as written say you don't use missions, I believe, on non-campaign scenarios. There was an FAQ that said you can use missions, but you have to filter them out. Given the race nature of this, I didn't see myself using these missions, so I didn't bother to deal them out. But when you do a depletion on a planet, you get to complete one of your missions if it is at that site. So if I had a mission at Venus, depleting it would complete my Venus mission. Secondly, I get to draw a world card. I have this big old bag here, and inside are a bunch of these tokens, okay? These all have on them some information, some flavor text, precious metals, the type of world this could exist on, any exploration bonuses you get, and the type of materials and research that can come out of that site if you have a base. So what I'm going to do, because I depleted it, I get to draw one of these cards at random, and if it matches the type of site out here, I would put the world card in that location. All right, so I'm going to draw one of these at random here, and I got precious metals, which incidentally is the one I showed you as an example. It needs to be on a rocky world, which this is, so I'm going to go ahead and sit that right there. So now later, if I want to try to build a base out there, which I probably won't do this game, I could get some fancy bonuses. It also makes exploration with spectrometers easier. So I might actually send a new orbiter out there with a spectrometer when that one's destroyed. Then I get to search for life. Every place here has a very low percentage chance of there being life. And when you do a depletion, you get to roll to see if you find life. Out here at Venus, it's a paltry 1%. Okay, so I need to get 1% here, and if I find life, then I get some nice bonuses. Odds are very low. I got 66%, so I did not find life. I can look again in the future. And then finally, I get one politics marker. Politics markers can give you little bonuses. You can trade them for resources. You can trade them for money. You can also adjust your diplomatic relationship with different countries. And you can even do that in this game where I'm playing by myself, because these non-player factions still exist. I probably won't do that. I'll likely just use this for resources, because I'm racing to build stuff at Mars, and I'm going to need money. I'm going to need resources. All right, so now let's explore with this telescope. The telescope is going to go have a look-see at these near-Earth asteroids. So roll these 2 dice, plus this one. Actually, roll all 4 of these dice. So I got a 99%. Telescope does not fall apart. I got an 8 and a 2. I'm going to choose to use the 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 is, on my die result, is lower than that 4, which means I get to pull another engineering research. And I got something. Can't flip it over in my hand. It is a 2. All right. And the Odyssey is also going to explore. 6 and 4 is 10. I automatically find something, but I could still fall apart. 47%. I got a 7%. This thing, once again, falls apart. But I do get some engineering research. And I got a 1. Okay, then after exploration, base stuff. Not doing any base stuff, because I don't have a base or the ability to build one yet. And we move on to the next year, year 6. Time to do any servicing and repairs or building of ships. I'm going to have to keep building this stupid launch vehicle too, but that's where we're at, I guess. So 10 billion, I'm going to exchange that for 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10. It cost me 3 billion to build that. BioSeed, thank you. Andrew, you're saving my butt here. For some reason, it's very easy for me to forget to do that. And I got a 1. All right. So I've got my launch vehicle 2 again. I'm wondering if it's worth it for me to send this other orbiter out there. It's going to cost me 4 billion bucks, which is a lot of my remaining money. I don't want to spend all my money yet. Why not build a CV1? I don't have a CV. Because I have a level 1, but in order to carry a crew vehicle, you have to have at least the level of the crew vehicle equal to your launch vehicle. Or other way around, I guess. So a launch vehicle 1 can't carry a crew vehicle 2. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm going to double check that. I remember reading that, but I'm gonna take a look. Moving with launch vehicles. CVs must always be carried when leaving Earth with a launch vehicle size equal to or greater than the size of the crew vehicle. So yeah, unfortunately, I got to keep spending money for this LV2. I built both these launch vehicles out here at the start so I could get a couple things out, but the 2 is what kept breaking up. Anyway, so I am building that LV2, and that's all. Then we're going to move. We're going to move this guy back to Earth. Roll to see if it falls apart. It 15% does not fall apart. Needed a 3% or lower for it to fall apart. And then we will leave everything else where it's at. Let's go ahead and explore with the orbiter. So it is that 3 versus that 5, actually. I forgot to mention, when you deplete a planet, you lower the exploration value of it. So this is now down to an exploration value of 5 from 6. So that 5 plus that 3 is 8. So I need an 8 on this red die. I got a 6 and a 65% for malfunction. That is, everything is cool. Orbiter does not malfunction. And I find more stuff on Venus. And I got a 1. Now you can keep getting depletions on these places until they have an exploration value of 0. The idea being you're learning everything you can about that place. You're depleting it of resources. And so the more you find, the more that goes away. Then let's have the telescope take a look at the near-Earth asteroids. Once again, 27% or lower is bad, and we need a 4 or lower. So we got 88%, and we got, this is a 3 on that red die. So we find something there again. I hope this game is making sense to you guys for watching. I don't think it's too complicated of a game. You kind of get into a groove with it. I got a 3. Hey, a 3 means we're going to find a depletion out there. So first thing we're going to do is lower the value from a 4 to a 3. And then we are going to add a world card. Now, not all sites can take world cards. It'll say if it can. So this one can, the Comet cannot. Probably can't see it on camera, but there's a little like dashed line, a little border around these. They're almost built as though you should put the, what did I get here? I got it's an icy type. This is a rocky asteroid. So because this is an icy type world card, this is not an ice type site, this does not get added, goes back in the bag. There's like a little dashed line around some of these where the world card like fits exactly into there. Except there's information on here that is valuable. So you shouldn't cover this up because then you're missing info that you need. I guess I appreciate what they were trying to add there, but it doesn't really work. And then I'm going to search for life. Chance for life here is 3%. Let's roll these, and we got 42%. So the answer to life, the universe, and everything, but not the discovery of life on near-Earth asteroids. And those are all my explorations. Those 2 explored. And let's then move to base building stuff, which again, no base building. So from year 6 to year 7, we need to unreserve this crew vehicle. It costs us $2 billion. And then we're going to launch the crew vehicle back into space and send it back to the moon. Let's roll for that to see if it succeeds. I got 50%. Great. This makes it, and this does not get destroyed. Then let's do some exploration. Start with the orbiter. Orbiter explores Venus once more. It is a 3 plus 5 is 8. I got a 57%, so I do not fall apart. And I got a 3 on my red die, which is lower than that 8, equal to or lower, and so I find more physics research. Ooh, a 5. That's another depletion. So that actually, we're good to go now in physics research for the thing that we were trying to get. Hey, Vince. Yeah, it's a neat game. Yeah, check it out later. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the game, Vince. So we got another depletion out here. So we are going to draw another world card. Now, when we draw a world card, a planet can only have 1 world card. I can opt to replace the existing world card if I want. And I got hematite. It's a rocky type, so it could go there. And it gives +2 exploration to orbiters and flybys, whereas this gives +3 exploration to spectrometers. Now, I do have an orbiter with a spectrometer, but that's not the orbiter I have there, so I think I'm going to just switch it over. Yeah, this precious metals offers more resource collection, but I don't really see myself making a base here, so I'm just going to switch it to this world card. And then check for life. Again, need a 1%, and I got 58%. So that is not life found still, but I'll be able to explore this more easily. And it degrades to a level 4 for research, or exploration rather. Okay, telescope. Telescope is going to explore the near-Earth asteroids. Now, in this game, you round just the way you would mathematically round something. The near-Earth asteroids, it's a value 3, and remember, I have it for telescopes, so it rounds down to a 1.5, but because you would round something that has a 0.5 decimal up to a 2 in this case, so that'll be a 2 still, plus my 2 there is 4. So 54% for my malfunction chance. I do not malfunction, and I got a 5 and a 10. Unfortunately, neither of those are equal to or less than 4, so I do not successfully explore the near-Earth asteroids again. And I'll have my CV2, my Odyssey, it's the name of it, explore the moon. Do not need to roll the red die because we're 6 plus 4 at 10, but we do need to see if we recall again. 47% chance of recall, very high. And I got 17. Once again, recall. But I do find some more good stuff. Hoping for a depletion here. I got, hey, a 5. That's fantastic. So that is a depletion. Let's go ahead and draw one of these out and see if we can make a base maybe in a bit on the moon. And we got an S-class asteroid, which requires minimal gravity. This has low gravity, not minimal gravity. So unfortunately, this cannot go there. I'm sorry to say. All right. Let's see. See, Eric, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So let's have these things then. That'll be the end of the turn. They all explored. Still no base stuff, and we advance to year 8. Let's go ahead and build nothing on this year, because I'm still saving that money for next year. We'll move this guy back to Earth, as usual. It's kind of been what it's been doing, unfortunately. 23%, it survives its trip to Earth. Thank you, Andrew, thank you. I need to have like a big like post-it note in front of me that says, draw biology when your crew vehicle recalls. 3, it's not bad. I'm just so, I hate to admit that my crew vehicle is recalling and I have to draw biology. I'm trying to will it into non-recalled states. Okay, so this is back to Earth. Then it's exploring. Orbiter, explore. And it's going to explore at a bonus now. So that 3 and 4 making 7 is actually going to get increased by 2 to a 9. I got a 35 and an 8. So the 35 means I do not fall apart. Again, it's 27% right now. And 8 against that 9 means I successfully pull something out of the surface. And I got a 3. Man, I am just depleting the heck out of Venus, which is great. I guess like all this physics research is going to be cool. All right, let's draw a world card. Oh, I also needed a politics marker for my last 2 depletions. I forgot to take them. So I depleted that a second time, and I depleted the near-Earth asteroids. I forgot all those politics markers. All right, let's see what we get here. We got, for Venus, another icy world, or rather an icy world, which would not apply to this. Subterranean water. So no icy world at Venus. It is rocky and volcanic. And then telescope, explore. Let's have it explore the moon. Better chances. So still need a 4 on that. And I got a 15, so this thing will be destroyed. And I will remember to take my my malfunction bonus. But I got a 3, so I'll actually be drawing 2 from the moon. 1 from the moon and 1 for the malfunction. So for the moon first is a 1. And then my malfunctioning telescope is a 5. I wish it was in the opposite order. The 5 from the moon would have meant a depletion. But here we are. Okay, base building. Still no base building. Move to year 9. And now we will spend, once again, $2 billion to unreserve this crewed vehicle, Odyssey. And the LV-2 in our movement phase is going to launch it back up here. So let's go ahead and make that percentile roll. We got 93%. Beautiful. The LV-2 survives. The Odyssey crew vehicle makes it to the moon. Orbiter, you are going to have a look. This should actually be a 3 now. The orbiter is going to take a look. So that is a 3 and 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 41% does not malfunction, and I got a 5 and a 7, so I'll take either one of those and draw another physics token. So I should start looking, because I have a lot of physics points now. I need to start looking and thinking what else I want to get. I got a 2. What else I want to get with physics research, because I think I'm going to be able to potentially get something else. We'll see. And then the crew vehicle is going to explore the moon. And that is a 54%. It, for the first time, does not fall apart. And I actually didn't need to roll that red die because my numbers are high enough to just get one. And we got here a 2. That's all my exploration. No base building still. And now we move into economic phase of 2040. All right, so first thing we do in an economic phase would be collect some politics markers. We get 2 politics markers. Okay, so I currently have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll do an event. Roll these percentile dice, and I got a 30. So I'm going to take a look at the event table in here. It's a whole like table over here of the different events. A 30 is a natural disaster. Roll percentiles to see which world is impacted. Any bases in that world add a damage marker to all non-settlement facilities and destroy half their saved resource type. Ignore this event if there are no bases on the rolled world. There are no bases on any world, and so I'm not even going to roll it. Then, after the event, we're going to do an initiative step. Now, initiative only matters in a multiplayer game, and so I'm not going to bother with initiative right now. Then we go into diplomacy. Diplomacy, I can switch to, let's switch up here. So going through this checklist here, basically. So then we do diplomacy. Diplomacy does matter a little bit in the solitaire game because this is where I believe bases, neutral bases can get added. I want to make sure. You can modify foreign relations. Okay, so I guess, no, this is just when I would potentially modify my foreign relations, and which you can do to non-player factions. I'm not modifying any factions here. I'm staying neutral with everyone right now. I don't think it's super important in the race for the red planet scenario, but maybe later I'll regret that. Then we go into the production step. First, you collect your Earth production, which is going to be listed on my player board here. So my Earth production is $28 billion. I will collect 10, 20, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 28 billion is collected here. 2, a bunch of 1s. Yes, it can. A trade can get you more money each year, but right now I'm going to be using, I think, my politics markers instead for getting resources and money. So I have a bunch. I could try to boost it and get extra money per year, but I think I'd rather use it. Like considering as it stands right now, Andrew, we're only going to be playing 2, I guess 3 decades. If I boosted stuff to free trade up to 1 billion, I can trade these politics markers for $1 billion each. And I feel like if I just wanted straight money, that might be worth more. I might even use them for technology instead. So I just don't think the game's going to go on long enough to make that worthwhile over just exchanging for money. So all right, or tech for that matter. All right, so in the production step then, I collected my money. I also am going to, I think at this point, maybe I just collect money right now, and tech points. So I get 5 physics tech points, 2 engineering tech points, and 2 biology tech points. So I track that up here. So 2 engineering, 5 physics, and 2 biology. And then I can exchange these politics markers for, I believe, 2 of any tech point per politics marker. And I can do that at any time. The rules sort of indicate that you can only do it after you spend the points, but an FAQ said you can do it at any time. So I might end up doing that in a minute, but we'll see when we get to actually spending technology. So if I have too much stuff out in the world, I have to spend upkeep for it. Support limits are listed on faction sheets. I can have 2 robotic explorers, 1 crew vehicle, and 1 base. There are ways I can increase that limit, or I can just be over the limit and spend the money to maintain them. Right now I have 1 crew vehicle and 1 robotic explorer, so no problem. Then if I had bases actually built, I could generate resources or technology points, but I don't have bases, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then I am going to skip ahead to adding non-player faction bases. So I'm going to roll some percentile dice and potentially add some. So I got a 32, which is not going to apply to any of these. All these sites have percentages listed on them. If you roll the dice, then if the percentage matches existing percentages out there, you randomly add non-player faction bases. You make money for being under the support limit. You're right. If you have unused support, earn $1 billion for each. You're right. I forgot about that part. Actually, I'm not actually sure if I realized that until right now. Now that I'm flipping through this. Yeah. So okay. So if you have unused support limits, earn $1 billion for each. If you could support 3 non-probes but only have 1, you get $2 billion. So I have 2. I'm 2 under my total limit. I can have 1 crew vehicle and I have 1. I can have 2 robotic explorers and I only have 1, so I get $1 billion for that. And I can have 1 base, but I don't have any, so I would get a second $1 billion for that. Great, that helps a lot. Okay. Then I would make rolls for pirates and asteroids starting in 2050, which is not going to be yet, but it'll be in the next decade. And then I develop technologies. So now is when I'm going to start to add tech points up that I've collected throughout the round. So let's see what we've got here. I've got plus 5 billion, 3, 4, 5 for biology. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for biology. It's not going to be enough to get me anything, but that's okay. And then I've got 2, 5, 10, 15, 16, plus 17 for physics. So that would be 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, puts me at 22 for physics research. And then for engineering, I've got, split these up a little bit. A whole lot for engineering, which is great. That was sort of my goal. All right, so we're at 2. So that's 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I'm at 24 for engineering. So this is where I'm going to want to spend some of my politics markers to get a little bit more out here. Because I need, if you remember correct from before, I need 25 engineering points in order to build crew vehicles level 3, which I'm going to need in order to build bases. So I'm going to want to spend some politics markers to get some more engineering. I'm at what I need for expanded crew vehicle range, but I could also, essentially right now I have 10 tech points that I can distribute where I want. I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could spend 8 of those points to get up to 15 biology, which would make building bases cheaper, which would be lovely. And then I could spend 1 to add to my engineering, and I have 1 left over, which maybe I just spend that to get $1 billion. I think that might be the move. That way I can build bases for very cheap. I get the tech I wanted, and I have a little extra cash. So let's do that. Let's spend these 5 politics markers. We're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on biology, 1 on engineering, and then the other one I'm going to turn into $1 billion. I think that's a pretty good spend of that money. Now we have to spend our technology points in order to get tech. As I mentioned before, the 2 main ones I wanted were spending 25 engineering to get better crew vehicles. So this goes down to 0. I wanted to spend 15 of this to get crew vehicles that can go farther. And then I'm going to spend 15 biology to be able to build bases for cheaper. I think that's pretty good, because now I can make some bases for cheap. I have the need to make at least 1 base, but I might end up wanting to make another out here somewhere. So I can use it to produce resources, because settlements are expensive, and I need to make 20 of them. Okay, so now that we've done tech, we have to have the amount of remaining points I have for each class. So I've got 7 here. That halves to 4.5, which is going to round, 3.5, which rounds up to 4. And then we're going to do settlement growth, which I don't have any settlements out there, but for every 10 settlements, you get a free one. And then I will go ahead and get 1 new policy. So there is this policy tree here. I start the game with being able to draw an extra politics marker. So actually, I should have got an extra politics marker. I'm just going to turn it into another $1 billion. And now I get to pick a second one that I have. And I'm kind of thinking I might go for either space economics, which is going to give me an extra $2 billion every 10 years, or actually, you know what, maybe base support limit +1. Base support limit +1 would allow me to have another base without having to spend cash, and I'd kind of like to build a base. Not only do I need to build one at Mars, but I'd kind of like to build one out here somewhere for resource and technology gathering. Actually, building a base at Earth is probably where I want it. So yeah, let's do space settlement. So these are the 2 policies that I have enacted right now. And that is going to be all for the economics phase. You do that once every decade. So the start of every decade begins with an economics phase. And now we go back into the regular turns. Great, let's go ahead then and do shipbuilding. So now I can afford to build the CV3. It is expensive. I think it's like $11, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's $10 billion to build this CV3. But I need it in order to carry stuff around, right? So I'll probably decommission my CV2 before the next decade and just have that CV3. I think that makes sense. Let me just let me take a look at the board here and consider my goals for this decade. These all go back as well. So I think a good goal is going to be to make 2 bases. I'd like to get that base on Mars put together. Let me look at my potential investors here. So I would like to get a base on Mars, because I need to do that in order to start making settlements. And I need 20 settlements, and I'm only going to have like 20-ish turns to do that. 30 turns, I guess. So I need to get a base on Mars, I think, this decade. I also need to get a base in Earth's orbit so that when I have CVs flip over to their reserved side, I don't have to land them on Earth and use a launch vehicle to get them off the planet again. I can just bring them to the base. As long as that base has resources, it can reconstruct that ship. Additionally, having a base around Earth means I can start adding, what are they called, research stations to it, which will allow it to generate more technology every decade for me. which is great. Research stations are very useful. So I think what I'm going to want to do, my goal is going to be to have first goal, get a base around Earth. Because that I can do like in 2 turns. Next goal, I think, is going to be get a base on Mars and start to add settlements to it by the end of the decade. And yes, Andrew, definitely get a base on Mars with a mine. A mine will be great because I'm going to need settlements. And so if Mars can start pulling resources out and just have them there at the base, I can just use those for settlements, which is great. So I think those are the 2 goals, bases. This is the base phase. 2040s is the base decade. So first base on Earth, second base on Mars, which means I'm going to need to start exploring Mars so that I can get a world card there that'll give me access to resources. Yeah, I think I'll have to build a telescope then, again, to start exploring Mars. That might be the easiest, or maybe decommission my existing orbiter and then shoot another one at Mars. Maybe with the spectrometer, so I can draw 2 world cards. That could be the one. Because I don't know that I need physics research much anymore. Let me look back here. So I have all the tech listed right here. And yeah, I don't know if physics research is going to help me a ton. I have my advanced astrodynamics. Trade routes could be good for transferring resources. Yeah, I don't think I really need physics research anymore, whereas biology research will actually be pretty helpful. The orbiter of Venus will malfunction this decade. Yeah, you're right. There is a very good chance it does. My spectrometer orbiter, the Hawking, is not yet built, so I don't need to get rid of the orbiter out there, the Newton. Yes, it is all about the bases. That is. I'm gonna get a permanent marker and I'm gonna write that down on my 2040 decade chart here. Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, leave the orbiter there. If it somehow doesn't malfunction by the end of the decade, I will just destroy it to not have to pay for it. So, okay, base time and world card on Mars. That is the goal. Let's check it out. First thing then is gonna be building this Hawking. It's gonna cost me 4 billion. So there's that cost. I'm going to need to build a CV3, which means I'm also going to need LV3 in order to get that out of there. So if the CV3 that I'm looking at is going to cost me 10 billion, let's do it like this so I can keep track of what costs what. So that's going to cost me 10 billion. Maybe I send a probe with the orbiter. It only costs $1 billion for a probe, and it gives me better chances at pulling stuff out of the planet. So then I need an LV3, which is going to cost me 4 billion. 2, 4. So maybe that's all I need to build this turn. Probe, orbiter, CV3, LV3. And CV3, I'm going to need actually resources on the CV3 too to build the base. So a base on Earth costs me 2 billion, but because I have that tech, it's only $1 billion. It's going to be 1 supply. So I'll spend an extra $1 billion to stick this on there. I'll just do that right now, spend that $1 billion. Yeah, resources on the CV3. Maybe what I end up doing, because Mars is going to cost 3 billion in resources, and this sucker can carry 5, so that's no problem. So another 3 billion. And that way the CV3 can go to Earth, build the base, hit the flyby, go to Mars next turn. And you know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to have this LV. I'm going to spend another 2 billion. And I'm going to have the LV, or I guess 2, 4, yeah, it'll have to be the LV. The LV is going to carry some materials and some supplies up to the base so that if my CV3 falls apart, there will be stuff on there to repair it. Kind of planning for failure on that one. So that only leaves me with $11 billion, which is not cool, because I need to get through this decade then with 11 billion bucks. Now I could destroy my launch vehicles and get some of their stuff back. True, you're right. It'll need to be next year. That's right, because base building happens at the very end of the phase. Okay, well, I'll buy these anyway and just hang on to them. Yeah, let's go with this. So my LV-1 is going to carry the orbiter, which is carrying the probe. And I'll need a spaceport. So let's have... and what are spaceports? I think are 2 billion, right? Yeah. A spaceport allows CV2s, CV5s, whereas my supply station, so it has to be a large, supply station. So as Andrew is mentioning in the chat here, once I build a base, in order to repair reserved crew vehicles, I need supply stations on there. I need a supply station. But a supply station can only service a crew vehicle 2, and I have a crew vehicle 3, which means I'll need to upgrade it to a large supply station. So that's a total cost of $6 billion. So that's actually a large chunk of my cash here. But I think it is a good thing. It'll save me having to continually relaunch, which cost me a lot of money last turn. I had to rebuild this LV2, I think 3 times. It cost me $9 billion just in rebuilding that LV2. And now would be the LV3 that I'm rebuilding, which is even more expensive. So I'll have to deal with that. And I'll launch supplies next turn with it. Anyway, this is what I'm going to fly up with right now. Let's go ahead and, just so I don't lose it, I'm actually going to leave these 2 back here. All right, let's have my LV-1 launch with the orbiter. Carry the orbiter, which is carrying the probe. I'm going to spend all this money too. I hem and haw so much about spending like $100, and here I am spending tens of billions, and I feel just as bad about it. So, all right. Orbiter carried by the LV-1, and the orbiter is going to go to Mars. And I got a 92%, so the LV-1 survives, as does the orbiter with its probe friend. And they're going to go from Earth to the flyby to heliocentric zone number 1. And then we're going to have the LV-3 carry the CV-3. Same deal, 25% or lower is bad, and I got 82, so the LV-3 survives. And this guy is just going to go hang out in Earth orbit with these resources. And then it's exploration time. The orbiter here, the Newton. The Newton is going to continue to explore Venus. That is, hey, look at that. Malfunction, like right away. 10%, and I got an 8, which is that, I forget if that's enough, 3, 6, 7, 8. So I do get to draw from here, but my orbiter Newton immediately crashes. It heard you, Andrew, talking about the orbiter malfunctioning this decade, and it did. And so it gets with its last draw a physics 5. Newton, you're doing good, buddy. And that gets me a depletion. So let's go ahead and draw maybe the last Venus depletion. It is precious metals rocky type. I don't know if I'm going to send an orbiter out there, but I do have a telescope with a spectrometer. And this gives us a spectrometer bonus. So I am going to replace this. This drops to a 2. Make a roll to see if there's life. I need 1%, and I got 22, no life. But I do get a politics marker. And then, I didn't forget, for the orbiter falling apart, I get to draw engineering. And for this, we got a 1. Well, Godspeed to you, Orbiter Newton. You did great. Okay, and then we have the CV2 over here. The CV2 is going to explore. Continuing to look for something on the moon. Don't need to roll that red. I don't know why I am. 15%. It does deplete, or not depleted, reserves. I do pull something out of here. It is a 3, which does cause a depletion on the moon. Draw one of these suckers out. We got minimal gravity. This is low gravity. Once again, that S-class asteroid does not fit with the moon. Now I could have, if I'm feeling really risky, I could have this thing explore Earth. Which could add a world card over here. Gets me some biology points. The risk is that this thing gets a 47% or lower and it ends up flipping, in which case it loses the resources and is not going to be able to build. Or it might not lose the resources, but it would not be able to build. I do not want to risk that. I don't have the money or the time, I don't think, to flip it back over. So what I'll end up doing, I think, is exploring with Earth later, but not right now. I guess Earth doesn't get a world card anyway, so I don't know why. There's not really any sense in exploring there. Okay. Let's have that thing just sit there. Now it's base building time. I'm going to spend these 1 supply. Actually, I only need to spend 1. Well, let's say I didn't carry all of those up there. Let's say I just carried the 1. I'll spend that 1 supply to build a base, and we're going to build the first base Alpha. Life roll, you're right. Life roll on the moon, 58%, no, and it does deplete. Thank you, Andrew. You're keeping me honest here. Let's go ahead then, and we built the base. So that'll be the end of this turn, the end of this year. Move on to the first year, year 2041. Are we going to do any shipbuilding? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that orbiter dead. So let's keep it there. Now it's movement time. This first degrades into the flyby, and then this one. Do I need that CV2 anymore? I don't know if I need that CV2. I might bring it down to Earth and decommission it. I might just bring this. I'll bring it to Earth for sure. And then I may end up decommissioning it. We'll see. I can't think of any uses right now for it. I mean, it's good at exploring. It has an exploration value of 6, effectively. So maybe it can help explore Mars or something. We'll figure that out. In the meantime, though, I am going to launch up to there resources. I'm going to have my LV 1 and 2, I think, both go up there. Because this sucker is going to cost, like, what did I say, 6? Yeah, 6 for the supply station. So if I have stuff out here right now, that could be... That's a lot of my money. I only have 11 billion. It's more than half my money. I need 3 here that I have to make a base on Mars. And then these 2 I was going to save for repairing, or not repairing. I meant to get fuel. This is what I meant to have for repairing. So that's enough for a base. and then goods to repair, which means I would need to spend 6 billion off of this. Let's just break this down a little bit. Okay, so I'd have to spend 6 billion, and then I have 5 billion left, which would be enough for a mining station on Mars, a level 1 mining station on Mars, and a level 1 research station on Earth. That leaves me with 1 billion left over, which could end up limiting me a lot. Which could limit me a lot because I'm sort of gambling then that this thing doesn't deplete before, or doesn't fall apart, malfunction before I'm able to get a world card on Mars, which I'd love. I would love a world card. Choices here. What if gosh, because yeah, I mean my CV maybe instead of a supply station, because that's a lot of money. Maybe I just build a level 1 supply station right now, plan on building a level 2 large supply station next decade. Decisions. Do I plan for failure, or do I try to give myself some nice passive bonuses? Is there any other tech that is going to really benefit me right now that I'm like looking for next turn? I mean, crew exploration +2 is okay. Let's go ahead with just right now, I'm going to launch using LV2 and LV1. I'm going to carry these 3 supplies up because I do want to make a base out here. So I'm going to have LV2 and LV1 carry those things up this turn. So let's roll for that. For LV2, does not fall apart. LV1 does not fall apart. It's 63 and 93. So these are all going to go hang out up here with CV3. And then we're going to move. This guy is going to fly over to here. Let's roll. 34, no problem. And then this orbiter is going to fly over to orbit Mars. And 86, no problem. Okay, tough decisions here. And then it is time for exploration. Let's start with the orbiter. Let's have the orbiter go ahead and fire this probe into Mars. Now, probes do not require you make a malfunction roll. The orbiter is safe this turn. The probe will be destroyed. It has a 9 exploration, which is very good. And so that probe is going to do a 9 plus that 6, which is 15. And so I will get to draw a biology token, and if I roll a 5 or less on this red die, I'll get a second biology token. All right, so I'm just going to roll that. I got a 4. That's great. So I will get my first one here for Mars, which is a 2. And then the second one. Come on, 3+, baby. I want that depletion. We get a 1. No depletion on Mars yet. Orbiter, though, is going to hang out and deplete all day long. And that's the only exploration I'm doing. Base stuff. No base stuff. And now we move on to year 2, 2042. Not building anything over here. Because the only thing I'd really want to put on Earth, I want a supply station, which could be good, and a research station. But I'm feeling a little tight with my cash right now, and I think those things won't matter until I need them, if that makes sense. I'll know if I need the supply station if my crew vehicle 3 gets flipped over, and the research station won't come into play until the next decade. So I have time for the research station to think on that one. So let's go to movement. This degrades in the flyby, and then it is going to move onto Mars, just out to here. Let's go ahead and roll on it. 3% chance, that's a 51, no issues. And then we're gonna explore. The orbiter is gonna explore. So it's got a 3 plus that 6 is 9. 9 for the orbiter. 4%, you kidding me, it falls apart. And then I got a 6, so I do find something, but the orbiter breaks apart. That's a bummer. I've been rolling very low on these. So why don't we go ahead then and draw biology? Space mining is great. Yeah, space mining, I was looking at space mining. It is where, let me see, how much does space mining cost again? That is going to cost 15 biology. I don't know though. Actually, yeah, I guess this thing has a lab. I don't know if I have anything below CV4 with production though. That's kind of the mining thing. I'll get the CV4, which I could, I suppose. It's 50 away though. It's 50 engineering away from CV4. All right, so we got 1 biology here from that. Not great. That's a setback. That's why I saved some cash here. Because I'm going to want to rebuild that orbiter, I think. We'll see. No more exploration this turn. It is then base building time, which I am going to build this base. And this will be base Olympia. And that's it. That's it for the year 3. So do I want to rebuild this orbiter? Cost me 4 billion, but I need biology out there. I really need biology out there. So yeah, we're gonna rebuild the orbiter. 4 billion bucks. And then we're gonna launch it. LV1 can launch it up there. No problem, 30%. Orbiter gets all the way over there. A level 1 supply should be good enough. It can refit your CV2. Your CV3 can build without depleting. That's true. The reason I kind of like that CV3 is because it can carry stuff, right? So, excuse me. So worst comes to worst, I can just create resources at Earth and the CV can carry it. It's a very low chance, I guess, that I fail that movement roll. So yeah, maybe the CV2 will be good enough. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe for exploring, it'll be fine. I don't see space. Like, again, I don't really see space mining coming up this game, just because it's going to be so much engineering to get there. But maybe I send more stuff here to get that engineering that I need. So, all right. Let's go ahead and not launch anything else and not move anything. I'm just waiting. You know what? Maybe I should build a telescope too. I'm going to build this telescope as well. I'm going to build the Copernicus because it has a spectrometer, which means it's gonna drop stuff there. You're right. Yeah, that's true. That's I forgot that you can carry resources while you're depleted. So yes, it can still carry all its resources. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe that's not that bad. It can just ferry things back and forth. Well, why don't we have the CV3 fly back then? Or maybe just explore while it's here. Maybe it can explore, because I'm gonna need that biology. I need to get this world card. I guess I don't need the biology, but I need the world card. I am gonna build a telescope though. I'm gonna go back and say I'm building this telescope for 3 billion, and I will launch it with my LV2. Not 3 billion, 2 billion. And I'm launching it with the LV2. That's fine, 41%. We'll say it launched up to there. All right. True, so when this gets reserved, it can carry stuff still. So if I'm just using it to ferry things around, it doesn't matter really that much if it gets reserved. So maybe my CV2 will be good enough. Maybe you're right, Andrew. You seem like a smart guy. Maybe you're right on this one. Anyway, so my movements are done. Let's explore with the telescope. We'll explore Mars. That's going to be a 1 plus 3. So that is a 4 that I need. 72 does not fall apart. I got a 3 here, so I do successfully explore Mars. And with that, we got a 1. Not a lot of biology here. What I'm really looking for is the depletion. But there's some good biology tech too. Space operations would be nice. Space suits would be nice for more crew exploration. Or yeah, maybe space mining if I'm feeling super ambitious. All right. No more movement, no more base stuff next year. Let's go ahead and I guess, yeah, let's do it. Let's repair the Odyssey for 2 billion, and then we'll have the LV2 fly up to that base. So the LV2 is going to carry the CV2 and some resources up to that base. I'm going to need another 2 billion worth of supplies here if I do want to build that level 1 space station, or supply station rather, which I will. Let's hang out here. And yeah, let's go ahead and boost it up. CV2 getting boosted up to that base. We'll say we're carrying these. That is a 69, no problem. It makes it up here. And the resources get dropped off at the base. Okay, and then for movement, this thing will also continue on to the moon. Or do I want to go all the way to Phobos and Deimos? Or just out to Mars, just everyone explore Mars, just the whole gang goes here and explores Mars. Biology is going to be useful. Unless I really want to get up to CV4 to make a production craft. It's going to cost me a lot, though. It cost me 50. No, let's have this thing, the Odyssey. The Odyssey's also going to have gone out here then. So this thing is going to degrade. That thing's going to go there. Oh, an LV can't do resources and a vehicle. Then disregard. Let's just have it carry. Let's just have it carry that stuff then. Forget the CB2 then. Great. So that's all up there. Then we'll have this guy degrade. He's gonna fly over here. This guy will explore too. We're just gonna do some hardcore exploring on Mars right now. So let's go left to right. Let's go with the telescope first. Exploring on Mars. There's a 5%. The telescope is destroyed. But I got the 4 that I would need to find something there. And I got a 3. That's going to cause a depletion. Let's deplete on Mars. Hoping for something good here. It is a rocky or icy world. Well, Mars is icy and rocky, so this works. Chasms, rather. Crews explore more easily, some resource options, and some physics options. All right, not bad. And then I will roll for life on Mars, which is 12%. And I got 25, no life. And I will take a politics marker. I will lower the value of Mars from a 6 to a 5. And I will go ahead and collect for my destroyed telescope, which is a 2. Okay, then I guess let's have the orbiter explore. The orbiter is a 3 plus that 5 is an 8. 28% means it does not fall apart, just barely. 27 or lower it would have fallen apart, but 28, it's good. And I got a 6, which means I successfully find stuff out here. And I got a 2. And you know what? Let's have the CV3 explore as well. Gets a +1, so that's a 5 and a 5 is a 10. Actually, a 5 and a 5 plus 1, it's 6. 6, so if I get a 1 on this red die, I get a second number. I did not. So 98 does not fall apart. I only get 1 biology token, though. And I got a 1. So I am collecting some resources here. I'm doing okay. Base stuff, yes. These were flown up there. For the first time, I'm going to do base building at the base. And I will do a supply station, which I'm not going to put up here. I'm going to put down here. So the cost of settlements is $5 billion. It is 2 materials, 2 supplies, 1 fuel for a settlement. It's per settlement. So I need to carry a lot of stuff out there. I don't have money on Earth. And I'm not going to be able to pull stuff out of here till next turn. I need to get something, though. I need to get something on Mars. I need to build a mining facility on Mars. And then I'm just going to need to start ferrying stuff out there, I guess. Maybe getting another mining facility if I can get another world card like out here. I mean, I could build a mining facility out here too, if I get a base on Venus, but I don't really want to be honest. Let's go ahead, maybe forget this guy for right now. Let's move ahead. And let's launch. Maybe now we launch the CV2 to go explore out here somewhere. Yeah, let's launch the CV2 to go do some more exploration. That is a 92%. Everything survives and makes it. it is going to go explore, I think, Phobos and Deimos, because if I can get a world card out here, that'll make it easier to fly out this way. Because if I can get that here with a base, I can fly over to there. And that could be okay. Just kind of a smaller gap here to get stuff together so I don't have to bring it from Earth. But I don't know. Maybe. Ah, this is tricky. Because I'm gonna need my biggest barrier right now is going to be getting a bunch of resources at this base for all of the settlements that I need. Bases are a little pricey out here, though. A little cheaper down on the moon. And a base on the moon. It's not that far, I guess. So maybe I just send it to the moon right now. Let's do that. Let's go back to the moon. Let's go back to the moon with this guy. All right, and then exploration. Let's start here with the moon. That's a 6. Plus 3 is 9. I got an 8. 24 though, this thing does flip. I do find stuff on the moon though. And it is a 5. It's pretty good. Pretty darn good. So let's draw for a depletion on the moon. I can also turn my politics markers into money if I really need it. I only have $1 billion, but the politics markers can help me out there. So this is, again, this is the only thing I ever draw for the moon, is this S-class asteroid. So this degrades to a 2. I get a politics marker, and I will roll for life, which is 2%. That is 59%. No life on the moon still. Let's have this orbiter explore. That is going to be a 3 plus a 5 is an 8. Got the 8. 91 does not fall apart, and I will draw. Draw for the moon. And we got a 1. And then should that CV3 explore? I mean, what else is it going to do? Like out here. Until I can have the money to make resources. I guess what it could do, because I do want to get a mining station here, so next turn I'll have it fly back. One more exploration here. That is a 5 and a 5 is 10, plus 1 from these chasms, make it a 6. So a 1 on the red die gives me an extra. I did not. But 91%, I do not. Oh, sorry, it's 19%, not 91. 19% means it does flip over. But I still pull something out. And that's a 2. All right, that is everyone explored. Base stuff, no. Next turn. So I'm going to need to, I think, exchange some of these politics markers right now for some big bucks. Because what I'd like... What I would like is to get that mining station on Mars. I mean, what I could also do is if I unreserve this, I could get it to this base and decommission it. So I'll get some of these resources, and I could use those to build stuff. So what if I use this LV2 to carry these 2 resources up to that base? That way I can unreserve this next turn. So let's start with that. LV2 flying up. $64, it's fine. So it carries these things up there. Then this is going to move to that base. This is going to move back to Earth. And then the orbiter is going to explore at the start of the exploration phase. 3 and 5, once again, is 8. It's a 7 and a 21. So this thing is destroyed. So I will get an exploration, though. I got a 5. That's very lucky. That's what I need. Yes, you can decommission a reserved CV. It's worth less. So I guess it rounds up to be the same. So maybe I'll just leave these here for the future in case I decide. Okay. So I got a 5. Let's do a depletion here. Got here Maria, which wants a rocky world. So this would be good for a rover. It gives me +4 exploration from a rover. And for resources, it is slightly higher on materials, lower on supplies, a lot lower on supplies. And it gives rover exploration. Now, rovers are nice. Rovers are pretty good. They're kind of pricey. I don't know that I'm going to keep this. Excuse me. I don't know that I'm going to hang on to this one. I think I'm going to keep what I have. And then we will roll for life on Mars, which is 12%. That is 76, no dice. Get a politics marker. And I will degrade this from a 5 to a 4. Let me see. Let me look up that. So you can scrap undamaged CVs you no longer want, destroy the CV, add up to the resource cost by type, add half the resource value of each type to the base stockpiles or your reserves on Earth. If you scrap a reserved CV, subtract 1 supply and 1 fuel from the cost before rounding, which could add up to the same amount after rounding. So this thing, the CV2, is worth 3, 4, and 2. So I'd get 1 fuel, 2 supplies, and I would get 2 materials. So if I subtract 1 and 1 from here, I'd get 1 supply still. I would get 2. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't make a difference on this. So maybe I'll just fly that reserved one over. Well, let's say I did that. Let's go ahead and say it didn't fly to there. It flew all the way over to there. Thank you for the tip, Andrew. Okay, so that's exploring. Base stuff, no. Next, year 7. Am I doing any building down here? I don't have the money, though. I could exchange politics markers for it if I want to make another orbiter. Or if I want to just exchange these for resources. And start shepherding that over there. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll exchange these for 2 billion, which I'm then going to exchange for the resources I would need to make a mining facility. Because I only have a couple years before I make a mining facility. So let's have this guy then carry these up. This degrades, this degrades. Let's carry these resources up for the mining facility. That is an 11, so this LV2 breaks apart. But it gets the resources up still. This guy is going to fly over to here and collect these resources. $69 does not fall apart. This guy is going to fly to that base. 19 does not fall apart. All right, and that's it now. Advance to the next year. Resources. Oh, that's right. You can transfer from base to base, or from Earth to any base. Is that right? That is jogging my memory right now. Moving with launch vehicles. Let me look that up to make sure I've got that right. Let's see. Launch vehicles, resource transport, LVs to any base. You're right. Go from LV to any base. Good call. Good call. So instead of going up to here, we'll have sent it straight to that base. So then in the base phase, I will have built a mining facility up here. That's right. So LVs can transfer from Earth to another base, any base. And I'll be building this mining station out there at Olympia. This guy, I'm still sending there. All right, so this next turn then, I'm going to, in this phase, scrap this to add some stuff here, and it's going to add half of these resources, but -1 from fuel and from supplies. So supplies will be considered a 3, fuel is considered a 1, but you round up for a lot of the stuff, so that 1 halves to 0.5, which rounds up to 1, so we'll get 1 of these. This 3 goes to a 1.5, which then rounds up to a 2. And this 3 goes to a 1.5, which will round up as well to a 2. So these will hang out at that base, which happens to be the cost of a settlement. So I'll leave all those on Olympia. Scooch that up just a little bit. Okay, and then any other building that I'm doing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could instead have this guy take these things now and bring them there. And that would allow me to start to add for another settlement. So maybe I spend a few more bucks. Because what do I need? I need I need $3 billion. So I could honestly spend these 3 politics markers for the goods that I need and have an LV carry those up, or just carry them straight to that base. And then I could build 2 settlements this turn. I've got about 20 turns remaining. See, Andrew, thanks a bunch for the help. All right. Let's try that. Let's spend these 3 politics for $3 billion, exchange those $3 billion for 1, 2, and 3 for 1 supply, 2 materials. And I'm going to have my LV1 boost 1 of those to Olympia. And 30% does not fall apart. All right, and let's have this guy move out to here. Roll for that. 89 does not fall apart. And that is going to be it for movement, no exploration. We're going to spend these resources at Olympia to build my first settlement. So I have 1 settlement now on Olympia, 1 of 20. And if I get to 3 settlements, I'll get bonus resources and tech from there. All right. That's base stuff. Now turn 9. This guy degrades on the movement. I'm not building anything else down here. LV1 is going to bring 1 of these up to Olympia. Roll for failure. 63 does not fall apart. This guy is going to move to Olympia. And I got 4. You kidding me? Oh, wait, no, if that's good. Yes, that's right, because it's a crew vehicle. You subtract the crew vehicle level from the engine failure roll. So this guy only fails on a 1 or a 2%, not 5%. That would have been terrible. That would have been disastrous. This guy makes it there, though. And so it now has that stuff on there. There was a box down here I could put all these, but I'm just going to leave them there for right now. You know what? Nah. I take it back. Let's put it down here. All right, and that's it for movement. It is now economic phase. For this decade, the start of 2050, again, the game ends at the end of 2069. So we're running out of time here, but we're hoping for the best. Okay. So first thing, collect 3 politics markers. 3 because of my economic, or my space diplomacy. So 3 politics markers. Then roll an event. Events can be good also. There are some good events. 36. It's very close to the number I got before. Events 36. Space race. Each player adds up their total number of settlements plus the value of missions they've earned. The player with the lowest draws 5 politics markers. In the case of a tie, all players draw 3. So, okay. Well, I'm the only person, so I am the lowest. So I will go ahead and collect 3 politics markers. Value 1, value 2. All right. Then we've got initiative, which I don't have to worry about. Diplomacy, again, I'm not going to worry about messing with these. Production, so I collect 28 billion. 10, 20, 5, 6, 7, 8. Collect 28 billion and some tech stuff. So I get 5 physics, knocks me to 9. I get 2 engineering. I get 2 biology. Though I also actually get +2 because of the Earth biology production that I have. Then, actually, you know what? No, that's only if I'm researching. Okay, so I do not get that 2 biology. Not the 2 bonus. Then, if I have exceeded my amounts at all, so I have a limit of 2 robotic exploration vehicles, of which I have none, so I get an extra 2 billion because I'm under my limit. 1 crew vehicle I have, 1 base, but I also get a second base because of my policy enacted, so I have 2 bases. I am within my limit. No extra money, but don't spend money either. Then, roll to see if a non-player faction adds a base anywhere. This is a 93. That is not within any of these places. They do not add a base. Starting in 2050, asteroids and space pirates can come out. Exactly the same way as placing bases, except the pirates or the asteroids go in places. So let's do pirate first. Pirate, 64. None of these. Asteroid, 25. 25 would be here. So asteroids can be collected for resources, but you need a ship that can collect them, and I do not have a ship that can collect. So that is essentially doesn't need to be there because I don't think I'm going to get to my Athena CV4. Okay, then we do developing technologies. So convert all these into technology points. So that is 1, 4, 5, 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 2 is 13 for engineering. Not very much. I don't know that I'm going to get much tech this turn. Sorry to say. Only plus 5 for physics. Knocks me up to 14. And then biology has a bunch. So let's see. 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1. Okay, so starting at 2 already. So plus 5 is 7, plus 3 is 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're at 21 biology. Well, let's go ahead and see what we've got here that we might need for 21 or more. Because remember, I can spend politics markers to boost that. Each politics marker is worth 2 of any tech. Any tech point. So I'm at 21. If I get space operations, my recall rate lowers. You can take a look at this over here. So if I get space operations, my recall rate goes down. If I get space mining, hi Lucy. Lucy's coming to join us. She has some opinions on space mining. If I get space mining, Then I could use crews with production. However, my first crew with production is a CV4, and again, I don't think I'm going to get that because to get CV4s, I need frigates, and that is going to also require ultra heavy launch vehicles. So I'm going to need 20 engineering here and 30 engineering here in order to get that. It's 50 engineering in the next like decade, basically, and I don't see that happening. Considering I'm at 13 right now and it gets halved if I don't spend it. I could go for, I'm close to getting mechanical counterpressure suits, which would increase my crew exploration by 2 instead of by 1. That's pretty good. That might be what I want to do with biology. So my crew explores more easily. So maybe what I do is I spend 2 of my politics markers to boost this by 4 up to there. And then I can pick up better counterpressure suits. What is this? Mechanical counterpressure suits. So let's do that. I still have these, so this is my 25, all it spent. Hi, Lucy. You're being very good, sweetheart. You're always very good, Lucy. So then I have some engineering and some physics research. But just not enough, to be honest. I mean, if I get 1 more here, I can get trade routes, which lets me transfer resources. Maybe I do that. Maybe I get trade routes. Let's do it. Let's spend 1 more politics marker to get trade routes. So that way, if I make resources at a base, I can transport them during the production phase to another base. Or I think from Earth as well, from Earth to a base. So that's pretty good. And so that cost, I have 1 left. And then this is at 13. There's just nothing down here that is like affordable right now, or desirable, to be honest. I guess I'll spend it to get space missiles, advanced space missiles, just in case pirates show up. Or this lowers my malfunction rate, which could be okay. Engine failure rate, and I can build LV4s. What am I at right now? I'm at 13. Let's just spend it to get advanced space missiles. That's just in case. That's just in case pirates show up and I need to fight them. Lucy Lou, I gotta put the tech tree back down, okay, baby? I'm gonna scoot you, Lucy. I'm gonna scoot you just a little bit, baby girl, okay? You're being good. Oh, Lucy, you can go sit over here, okay? As long as you're good. Okay. And then, all that's done, I have these. So this goes from 3. It'll go down to 2. This will stay at 1. And then I need to do settlement growth. So I have 1 settlement out here at Olympia. I'll roll this die, and if I get a 1, I will get a second settlement. I got a 5. That will not get me a second settlement. And then I get a new policy. So for policies, last time I got an increase to the amount of bases I could support. This gives me politics markers. This gives me Earth bonus production every 10 years. That could be okay. Let's maybe actually just boost this, because that'll give me an extra politics marker, which could be nice. Or I boost this, and I go build a base somewhere else, so that I can start to transport resources from it. Like Venus, if I wanted. Cost me a lot to build out there, but Let's do it. Let's do base support limit +2 instead of +1. So I can have 3 bases now. I'm feeling ambitious with the bases here. I feel like I need to get like an engine going of building stuff. All right, and that's going to do it for that phase. So we now move in to building stuff on Earth. So let's talk here. Yeah, Lucy's head right here. So what I could do this turn, what I want to do this decade, is get more settlements. I need to start getting settlements. I need 20 out there. That's a lot. So I need more settlements at Olympia. I also am going to need resources to do that. So what I'm kind of thinking is I want to start exploring again, and I want to start exploring, I think the moon is all right, and maybe Phobos and Deimos. Actually, there is a step. Actually, there is an economic step I forgot. I forgot to produce with my mining facility. I built that like on the last turn, so I'll come back to that in one sec. But what I think I'm going to want to do is get a base, a third base somewhere, and use that as a mining base, just to get resources that I can go add to Mars. Phobos, Deimos would be okay for that. Though with trade routes, I can transport stuff kind of easily. So I think what I'll do is plan to make settlements my goal, of course, but otherwise build another base. Maybe on Venus. It's got a world card already. The base is kind of pricey. It's 5, whereas the moon would be 2. So maybe let's try to explore the moon. Let's explore the moon and hopefully be able to get a base there, and then get a mining facility on the moon, and then hopefully then the following decade just send stuff to Mars to build more settlements. I think that's the goal. So settlements, start to make more settlements, but otherwise bases with mining facilities. That's the goal. Let's get to it. We got Lucy's toes right here on Earth. Okay. So like I said, I forgot one step. I forgot about producing resources from here because of my mining facility. All right, so I'm able to produce one type of resource here as listed. It's actually pretty good. I can actually make 6 supplies or 3 materials or 2 fuel. I think 6 supplies is probably good because settlements cost lots of supplies. Mining stations actually also cost supplies. If I want to upgrade that mining station, it's going to cost me 2 supplies. So let's produce 6 supplies here. Lots of supplies going and hanging out on Olympia. All right. Then from here, why don't we build some stuff? So again, I want to start exploring again, once more. So let's do an orbiter. Let's do an orbiter for 4 billion. You're very good, Lucy. Getting very clean. All right, so an orbiter up here. Maybe a probe for 1 billion as well. Maybe that's all for right now. Or a telescope. Maybe the Kepler telescope again. 3 billion. Let's just stick to these for right now. And then LV1 is going to carry the orbiter. It's a 59%, no failures. The orbiter is going to carry this, the Hawking orbiter is going to carry this Oberth probe out to, I guess let's just go to the moon. Orbit the moon, see what we can get there, or near Earth asteroids. Let's do near Earth asteroids instead. we'll go to these near-Earth asteroids, and yeah, hopefully be able to get a base there. What is it? It's a rocky asteroids, no atmosphere, minimal gravity. Okay, let's go there with that, and then this guy's gonna move back this way. It's a 58, no problem. Great, let's explore with the probe. The probe will fire into these asteroids. And from there, it will be a 9 plus that 4 is 13. So if I get a 3 on this red die, I will get a second engineering tech. And I got a 3. Look at that. So I get 2 of these. So we've got here first the 2. And then a 1. Not what I was looking for. I want a depletion, but we'll get that in a little while. And that's all for movement and exploration. Base stuff, actually. Base stuff, we can build nothing out there quite yet. So next turn. I guess I could upgrade the mining station if I wanted. No, I'm sorry, I'm 1 resource short. All right, let's go ahead and purchase for $1 billion another one of these materials. And those materials we're going to have to launch up to there. And then this LV3. The LV3. I think that LV3 might go ahead. Should not be there. The LV3 is going to maybe... I'll turn these into billions also. 3 billion from that. I think this LV3 is going to have to carry resources as well, maybe to Olympia. LV3 out to Olympia. And the LV1 out to Olympia. Should probably build the CV2 again. 9 billion, because it can go explore, which is nice. Especially if I'm trying to deplete worlds to get another base. It's got a lab on it. Actually, I overlooked the fact that that thing had a lab on board, which would allow me to... I believe labs allow me to roll 2 dice when exploring. And pick one. I'm making sure that's the case, because I think I missed that little icon. Crude exploration. Mobile lab, you roll 2 dice for exploration and keep 1. Yep. So yeah, I forgot. I guess it was searching at a 10 most of the time anyway. But there's a tiny little icon next to this Odyssey's exploration marker, which is a mobile lab, which means kind of like how with my telescopes I'm rolling 2 dice. I would roll those as well with that thing when exploring. So why don't we let's build this for 9 billion. And we'll have the LV1 launch this good up to Olympia so I can make another settlement. And I'll have the LV3 boost the CV2 Odyssey up here. So let's start with the LV1. That is an 81%, does not fall apart. LV3, that is a 14%. Oh my goodness, my LV3 falls apart. That sucks. It's expensive. Okay, great. That's a bummer. But my CV2 gets into space, and it is going to go to... it'll go to the moon. It'll go to the moon to try to make a base out there. Exploration. The orbiter explores. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the CV2. Rolling 2 dice. Oh, so this thing should have degraded and gone to here. So this thing does degrade. This thing will flip back over. but I will get to search here. Got a 1. And I'm searching at, what is that? A 6, a 7, 8. So I do, yeah, I just get the one thing. All right, that's not great. And then the orbiter is going to search. $54 does not fall apart. And then that is a 6. Unfortunately, not enough to find anything. Any more base stuff? Yes, this is going to build a settlement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We build another settlement out here. So now I got 2 settlements. 10% of the way there. And Odyssey gets bad for the recall. You lied to me, Andrew. You said you were stepping away and you didn't. I was trying to get one by. I was trying to sneak by not drawing one of these biology markers when I reserved. And here you are forcing me to draw a biology marker. I guess I appreciate it. All right. And then let's go ahead and... geez, I'm struggling here a little bit with that LV3 loss. I'm going to have to rebuild it, unfortunately. It's not crazy expensive, but it's still a setback. All right, and then base stuff I did. So next turn, movements. Or building, I should say. Let's build that LV3. Well, I guess I don't need the LV3 yet. This thing isn't done for. Let's have... Man, maybe I should just do a 3, because I need a 2 if I want to carry multiple resources up. The 3 is only 1 extra, and I can carry more resources. So what I'm trying to do here is I would like to be able to flip this thing back over. So I need 2 resources out here. So I need at least an LV2. I'd also like to be able to carry some stuff out here. So let's just do the LV2. Yeah, let's just build an LV2. Cost me 3 billion. We're gonna buy 2 resources, supply and fuel. And the LV2 is gonna carry them up to this base, which has a small supply station to repair this guy. So let's see, 25%. I want better than that. I got 19. So the LV2 falls apart. And it does get these things up to the base, though. Having bad luck with these launch vehicle rolls. Though I guess I'm making a lot of launches. So I guess the odds are that it is going to come back to bite me. And then movement. This guy is going to move to this base. This thing I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. I really just got it over here to make that base. It's going to need to carry resources to make a base somewhere else. So I think it will just stay here for right now. Let's make a roll on my CV2 Olympia. That is a 65%, no issue. Sorry, not Olympia. Odyssey. So that makes it there. The orbiter is going to keep searching. Needs a 6 or lower on the red die. I got a 7 and a 71. Does not fall apart, but does not find anything. That sticks around. Nothing else happens. I don't have enough stuff to make a base over here, so let's advance a year. Repair. We are going to repair the CV2 for our 1 fuel, 1 supply. And then for movement, we will have this guy move right back down here. That is a 26%. It does not fall apart. Let's have the Odyssey explore with its mobile lab. That is a 6. Actually, sorry, that is a 7 plus a 2 is 9. 27%. That is, unfortunately, once again, it reserving. I will draw the biology first so I don't forget. And that is a 2. Then, a 5 and a 9. Either one of those is good. So we'll draw from here as well. Come on, depletion, baby. I need that world card. 3. Great, depletion. Knocks it down to a 1. The moon is almost empty. Now, it will, I believe, auto get a world card on the last depletion. I think you draw till it has one that matches. This is anything but Venus. Frozen methane. I will take anything but Venus. So it's +1 from spectrometers. Let's roll for signs of life. It is 2%, and that is 92%, not quite. And I'll get a politics marker. Okay, well, we have a place we can build a base here. And actually, this produces tons of fuel, which is nice. So this might be okay. This might work. So what I want now is to get resources onto this guy, which can carry things, and have it fly down here to build a base. That'll be soon. This guy, though, is going to explore. As a 64%, does not break apart, and I got a 1 on my roll, which means I will draw out from here. That is a 2. No depletion. Remember, you need 3 or more for a depletion. Okay, let us move on. That's exploration. It's now base building, which I don't have enough resources here to make things yet, but I will soon. And I will then move on to the next year. Okay. So this sucker did good. I'm glad that I had this guy doing his job. We need some resources now to build here. It costs 2 supplies to build a base down there. So we're going to spend $2 billion. To build the base, or to get supplies. We will once again build an LV2 for $3 billion. And we're going to we'll have the LV1 carry stuff as well. We're actually going to spend another $1 billion for one of these materials. The LV1 is going to transport nothing yet, actually. The LV2 is going to transport goods up to here to this base. We got a 43%. It makes it, no problem. The LV1... yes, and a CV is not reserved. You're right. I need to unreserve that. So maybe we have this return to Earth then, instead of hanging out there. I forgot the unreserved part. So this thing flies down here. We'll say it flew down here last turn instead of staying. So let's roll to see if it breaks up in the atmosphere. It doesn't. So I'm going to rewind time and say this flew down here last turn. I will then spend $2 billion to unreserve it. I will then build a CV3, LV3 rather, for $4 billion. And have the LV3 launch this CV3 up to the base. So see you again, Andrew. Thanks again for all the tips. That is a 78. It makes it fine. So this sucker is up here. It can have I just carried that, I suppose, and flown to the moon. So it's safe. Everything is cool now. Then it's exploration time. Let's have the orbiter explore again. So 3 and 3 is 6. We got a 10 and a 19. This thing will break apart. I will get some mechanical knowledge from this, which is a 5. Lots of mechanical knowledge. If only that had been a 5 during an exploration. And then it is base building. We're going to spend... I guess this thing could have moved as well. Let's have this guy move over to here. Forgot about that dude. 90 moves just fine. This guy is going to build a base on the moon. We'll build base legacy. No. Let's build base unity. Because this is going to unify Earth, the Mars, and the moon. These celestial bodies are getting unified by the construction of this. So that got built. No issues doing that. And we're going to need to get some stuff there pretty soon so we can get mining going. And the CV3 can pick up that stuff and fly out this way. Okay, let's then, that's building, so that's year 5 now. We don't have a lot of money left. We have a politics marker. Let's spend $1 billion to get a supply on the LV2. And we're gonna have that LV2. Let's also spend $2 billion. Well, do I need to explore much more? I don't know if I need to explore much more. I was thinking about flipping this guy back over so it can go explore again. But I've got my bases. I don't know that I need much more exploration out of it. So maybe I do what I did before and have it fly out this way and deconstruct to make a settlement. I think I'll do that. So let's have that guy fly that way, roll for it, 71, it makes it. It's cool. Then we're having the LV2 launch these goods out to that base. 26, it survives the trip. CV3. Why don't you stay here for right now? Yeah, why don't you stay there for right now, CV3? You're doing okay. And that's it for movement. For exploration, no more exploration. No more exploration right now. Let's have this base building. This is going to build a mining station. These two pieces are going to build a mining station at the moon. A small mining station is getting built there at Unity. And that's it. Next year. Building anything? I don't think so. I also want to get some resources and send them to Olympia. Because what could I do with that? I have a bunch of these supplies. What I could use, an upgraded mining station would be pretty slick. And for that, I'm going to need two more material goods. So why don't we spend $2 billion, get those 2 material goods, and have my LV2 then. So it's movement time. This degrades. LV2 is going to launch goods to Olympia base. And it gets an 85, it survives. So those are at Olympia. This sucker is going to fly to Olympia. 72, it survives. And that'll be it for that. Base building. Yes, we're going to upgrade our small mining station into a large mining station. Okay, so Olympia's sitting pretty on a bunch of stuff right now. Let's then have nothing else get built in the base this turn. Year 7. In upkeep, this thing is going to get broken down. This sucker is getting broken down, which is going to be 1 of these, right? Or is it 2? It'll be 2. It'll be 2 of those. It'll be 2 supplies, and it'll be 1 fuel. All right. That is at Olympia. Then, are we building anything else this turn? I don't think so. We will then move to exploration, which I'm not going to do. We're then going to move to... yeah, no exploration. And then we move to base building. We're building a settlement, another settlement on Mars. 1, 2, 2. Going to add a 3rd settlement onto Mars, which is great. 3 of 20. And then that is it for base building. Next year. All right, so let me think here. So I'm gonna need to up the speed at which I'm doing things, I think. Because I've only got 3 settlements and I need 20. We have about 10 turns left. 12 turns left, it looks like. So Olympia's gonna be producing a lot of resources, which is cool. The moon is also gonna produce some, which I can transport between bases. All right. Why don't we... Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for stuff to produce right now. I guess let's have the CV3 explore again. Might as well, I guess. Now that I'm thinking, it might as well explore. So that's value 6 plus 1 is 7. Does not break apart, does not find anything. And then base stuff, no base stuff. We move to your 9. CV3 can explore again. 48 and an 8. Nothing, unfortunately. And no base building. Economic phase of 2060. All right, we are into the final decade. So let's do our economics phase. So first, collect politics markers. That gives me 3 politics markers. 1, 2, 3. Then we roll for an event. 5. Five is publicity campaign. The lowest initiative, which is me, chooses to increase the exploration value of one world by 2. I will, I think, boost maybe Mars back up to 6. If I want to keep, I don't want to keep exploring Mars though. Let's do. Let's maybe boost. Phobos Deimos or the moon. Because if I can explore more, maybe I can get a better world. This world card's okay. Maybe I get another, maybe I go for another base. Though I'm at my limit already. I don't really need this Earth base. I haven't done anything with it. So why don't we maybe move up onto... Let's just boost this to 5. Okay, and then we do on to production, I guess. We can skip initiative and diplomacy because initiative only applies in multiplayer, and diplomacy I'm opting not to change these at all. So production, I get 20. Actually, here in 2060, I get 30 billion. Goes up a little bit. 10, 20, 5, 30. 30 billion bucks. Then from the $30 billion, I also get some stuff. 5, 4, and 3. So plus 5 here is 6. Plus 4 here is also 6. And plus 2 here, plus 3 here rather, is 3. And then what we need to do is check this. So crewed vehicles 1, base 3, robotics. So I get 2 extra billion bucks because I have no robots. And then my mining stations produce. Out here at Olympia, I have a large mining station now. And so I could produce, I have a bunch of these. What I'm going to need maybe are more material goods. So that is 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4 of these materials. That's what I'll put out there. And then down here on the moon, base Unity can do 6 fuel. I think I just do 6 fuel. It's pretty good at Unity. And I then can do resource transportation. So if I'm going to do some resource transit, I can transfer 5 things between bases and Earth. Now I'm reading that as I can transfer between bases, and I can transfer between bases and Earth. So I think I can send from Unity to Olympia. Maybe I'm wrong, but the way I'm reading that, I think it would make sense to be both. So I think I'm going to go from Unity to Olympia, and I'll send 5 fuel to Olympia. And then I will move on to potentially adding non-player faction bases. And I got a 16, which would be right here. Okay, so it gets a non-player faction base here. I'm going to roll to figure out which. Actually, I'll take all these. I know they're all neutral. We're going to throw these into my hand. Close my eyes. Draw out this one. It is North America. So North America gets a base on the moon. Bases can coexist. That is no issue. All right, North America is adding base Freedom to the moon. And then I'm going to have to roll for pirates and asteroids. So, pirates. 19, which is, I guess, this. Okay, so the pirate is going to go to the Earth flyby. All right, and we're going to add this pirate to that Earth flyby. So that might be someone I have to deal with if I'm trying to get out of Earth, though I don't know if I'm going to have to. We'll see. I have to build something that can fight in that case. And then I got to assign a trade marker to this place. So we'll roll dice for this. I'm just going to say, because there are 3 resource types, and then it can be either a buy or a sell. So I'm going to roll this D10, and we'll say, actually, you know what? No, that's going to be too hard with the D10. I'm just going to draw out one of each, and they're double-sided. I'm going to shake them up, and I'm going to drop one out, and that's what it's going to be. It is buy these materials for $1 billion. So Earth is looking to buy, or I can buy from, I believe. I can buy those from that base for $1 billion apiece. I don't know if I will. We'll see. Then it's time to develop tech. So let's go ahead and add this all up. I don't have very much, and I don't know if there's much tech I'm looking for. So it's 4 here. That's me up to 7. A bunch of engineering. So it's 2, 1, 3, 2, and 5. So we're at 6 right now. So 6 plus 4 knocks me to 10, 15, 17, 20. And then we got to spend it. So do I have anything I'd want for 20 bucks? I think I'm gonna spend it all to lower my malfunction rate a little more, down to 20% from 27. Sorry, down to 24. 24 down from 27. And then these two, I just don't have enough, and I'm going to want this to be money, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8. That could get me to like 16, like of something, 15 of something. This is not enough. So no, these are just going to get halved. So this is going to go to a 3. This is going to go to a 3 as well. I'm going to spend these politics markers on plus $4 billion bucks. And then a new policy. For policies, what if we get +1, roll extra die for settlement growth? Though I got to do settlement growth first, I guess. So let's do settlement growth before I upgrade that. So settlement growth, I've got 3 settlements at Mars. If this is a 1, 2, or 3, I get an extra one. There's a 2. It's lucky. So I do get another settlement. Oh, and those 3 should have boosted something too. Okay, cool. So actually I would have gotten an extra resource out here at Mars when I built that. Instead of getting 4 of those, I would have gotten an extra one because I have enough settlements. I had enough even then before I did that roll. Great. So I got an extra settlement out there for that roll, which is good. I now have 4 settlements. So I am 20% of the way to my goal, but I only have basically 9 more turns to do this. Okay, and then we're on to the start of the turn. So this is the final decade of this scenario. It is the year 2060. The game ends at the end of the year 2069. So I have before 2070 to get another 16 settlements on Mars. Or if I get another 11, I'll have a minor victory. So my goal this year is to get, this decade, is to get settlements. I gotta get a bunch. I need resources. I need lots of resources. I have a good number on there right now, though. Enough to build, almost enough to build 2 settlements. And normally you can only build 1 facility per turn. It's been noted in the FAQ. Solitaire game allows you to build multiple settlements in a turn in this specific scenario. So I think this turn I'm gonna make 2 settlements, and then I'm just gonna try to go crazy making more settlements. It's going to have to be spending this money and then trying to avoid that pirate because, I mean, I guess I could build this Pegasus and go fight the pirate. I could try that. Maybe I'll try fighting the pirate. Not too well versed in combat in this game, but we might as well try it, I guess. It looks pretty weak too. So yeah, maybe my mission is then going to be to build my Pegasus crew vehicle and go shoot that pirate down. And then just buy stuff and shoot it over to Olympia to make more settlements. Just a mad dash for settlements this turn, this decade. Yeah, that's where we're at. Let's get to it. Final decade. Okie dokie. So for combat, let me refresh myself real quick on combat here. So I know you first need to find the person you're targeting. You roll a die, and you need to get a 4 or lower to find them. Oh, but if there's a base on one side, the search is auto-successful. So I still need to make the search roll for tactics points, but I will find the pirate because they're by my Earth base. All right. And then we resolve tactics points, then we fight. And fighting is adding up combat values and rolling a die. And then you reference a combat table on the back. Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do then is build this Pegasus ship. Costs 9 billion. So that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the Pegasus. This LV3 is what's going to launch it. And then I think the rest of this money is just going to have to be for getting resources and sending them to other places. Maybe what I do is I decommission my LV1 and turn it into an LV3. Maybe I decommission that and build my LV3 also this turn. So that's 4 billion to the LV3. Use those both for just getting stuff there once I kill that pirate. So let's do that. It's 2 billion, 4 billion, and then 9 billion. All right. So first thing, let's launch her. Let's launch the Pegasus into Earth's orbit. Gonna go try to shoot down that pirate, doing the exterminate part of the 4X. 81 makes it up there, no problem, and it's gonna go look for that pirate. Okie dokie. Let's go and I guess not move anything else. Because yeah, I can't send ships. I can't send my LV ships until that thing is gone, because this could potentially intercept it. Not a guaranteed interception, but a possible interception. A bigger chance that I'm willing to take here. So why don't we move on to combat, which comes before exploration. So this thing is going to fight this guy. Now, because the base is nearby, I do automatically find it, but I will still make rolls for tactics. Sorry, I'm making sure pirates don't get tactics points here. So I'm reading up on that real quick. Okay, so pirates will do tactics points, and they will try to spend them to avoid combat. So okay, my tactics points. I'm going to roll this for tactics. I got a 4. So I have 4 for my tactics. Pirate also rolled a 4. So we each got a 4 for our tactics points. So at the start of combat, each side earns tactics points equal to the other side's search roll. So we each earn 4. No, I get +1 because of my missiles. Let's see. The side with the larger number of tactics points subtracts the other side's points from theirs and can spend any remainder. So I have 5. I subtract 4, so I can spend 1 tactics point here. What I can spend my point on is to make it direct fire combat, which is better, makes it easier, I think, for me to deal some damage. Yes, it does, by a little bit. I can avoid combat for 3 tactics points, which I don't have. I can increase or decrease damage, but I don't have enough points for that. And I can select targets. If there are multiple ships, Defender picks targets, but there's only 1 ship, so I don't need to do that. So I will spend my tactics point to make it direct fire combat. So I'm going to shoot directly upon this dude. If it is direct fire, you can select any of your ships or bases that you wish to be screened. I guess I would screen my base. I don't know that I need to, but I will. Then, if it's a straight combat, it's not straight combat. Great, so now both sides simultaneously determine how much damage they inflict. Add up your combat values, add a die roll +1 for each enemy unit in the combat after the first. So no bonuses there, it's just 1-on-1. And then reference the combat table. So I have an attack value of 4. It's this little red triangle. I'm going to roll this die, get a 2, so that is a 6. On a result of 6, I do 1 damage. Okay, this guy, the pirate, trying to see what pirates use. I'm guessing they do strikes. I guess they don't. So they don't have. So yes, they will do a strike because they don't have any points here. Players fighting pirates can choose how to apply all damage they sustain. Okay, so the pirate's just gonna get the die roll. They got a 5. So pirate takes 1 damage. I take none because on a direct fire, I got a 6. On a 5 or a 7, you deal 1 damage. Strike value, which is what they're doing right now, on a 6 or less, they deal no damage. They got a 5. I got a 6, so I will deal a point of damage to them. And I will deal my damage to this pirate, which I believe is just gonna, I think it's just gonna kill it straight away. Or maybe, let me see. I haven't done combat before this actually. So this is new territory for me. Surrender, resolve points, resolve combat. The damage on each side is determined simultaneously, but it's resolved first on the side that initiated the search. Damage is inflicted 1 hit at a time, with each side alternating between ships and bases. For strikes, blah, blah, blah. Each hit applies a damage marker to a CV. CVs are destroyed when they accumulate damage marker equal to their size. So that is a CV2 pirate, so it is not dead. It has only been dealt a point of damage. It needs to be dealt 2 damage to destroy it. So I've done 1 damage to the pirate. It has done none to me. Okay, and then the pirate needs to check for recall. So it's got a recall rate of 50%. So if I get a 50%, it's gone. I think it just runs away. Yeah. And it got 82, so it does not recall. Okay, great. Sorry that took a second, but like I said, I hadn't done combat before, so that's basically it. So I'll need to do 1 more damage to this thing to kill it. So I'm gonna leave the Pegasus here. So that's movement, that's combat, exploration, CV3 here. I think that it will opt not to explore. It will not explore. And then we move on to the next turn. Actually, base stuff. I can do base stuff. I'm doing base stuff up here. I'm going to build multiple settlements, I think. Yes, so I'll spend 2 of these, which will knock me down to 3. So I'm spending 2 of my 5 fuel. I'm spending 4 materials, and I'm spending 4 supplies to build 2 settlements. Because again, in this scenario, in the FAQ, it specifies you may build multiple settlements per turn. Normally, you can only build 1 facility per turn, but here you can build multiple settlements per turn. I'm building 2. So I'm at 6 settlements now. Pretty good. Okay, and then next turn. Am I building stuff? I'm not yet. I'm going to skip right back to combat and fight this thing again. So first thing, my 4... I'll screen my base of 4 over here, plus my die roll. It's going to give me, ooh, a 6, that's great. So it's 6 for, actually, sorry, I need tactics points first. So 6 tactics points for me and 6 for it. So same thing as before. It ends up, I get +1 because of my super missiles. And so I end up with 1 tactics point. They end up with 0. So I will spend that 1 for direct combat and I'll roll. 4 plus 3 is 7. Theirs is, ooh, that's good though. 8 plus 1 is 9. So mine is 7, theirs is 9. And so let me just double check this again. So my 7 does 1 damage, their 9 does 2 damage. Okay, so I will kill them. They are done for, which is great. I'll get something for that. But I also take damage. Damage is dealt simultaneously. And so I will take 2 points of damage here. One, 2. And then I'll see if I deplete. If I get flipped over. And I got a 78, so I do not flip over. I'm just damaged. For each damage marker sustained, I must check. So 1 more damage marker check. 1. That would have been, if I would have found life if I was looking for it. So if I get recalled, then I will flip. So flipped over. I'm hurt. I do get a biology for that. But that ship did what it needed to do. And for that, I got a 1. Good job, Pegasus. You got blasted up by that pirate, but you killed that pirate. If you succeed in killing the pirate, you then get pirate's cash. The pirate can steal stuff and they can get paid off. So the pirate, I could have not fought it, but whenever I pass and it finds me, I have to pay it money. And when you defeat the pirate, you get its money. In this case, though, I just went and defeated it. I didn't pay any cash. I also get a politics marker, and I get a victory point. But this game, this scenario doesn't care about victory points, so I'm not even going to track that. All right, combat done. Exploration, no. Base building, unfortunately, no. Next year. All right, movement time. Let's move. Let's have this CV3 collect this and fly to Mars with it. 51, it makes it. Then let's have this LV3. We're gonna spend some money, boys. Boys and girls, I suppose. Everyone can spend money. Let's have, so what am I gonna need? I'm gonna need more supplies. So let's bring 3 supplies with. So it's 3 billion on supplies. Let's build 3 of these construction materials. It's 3 billion on construction materials. And then let's build one more of each. No, just one more supply for 1 billion. And then we're going to have all these fly up. We're going to have the LV3 carry these 3. We're going to have this LV3 carry these 3. We're going to have this LV2 carry this 1. So let's start with the LV2. Got a 24. The LV2 falls apart, but it does get this to Olympia before it does so. LV3 with the materials. Does not fall apart, thankfully. Gets it all to Olympia. LV3 with the supplies. 61 makes it and does not fall apart. Beautiful, beautiful. And then this guy degrades into the flyby, flies to the base. 82, it makes it. Okay, any exploring? No. Am I building stuff? Yes. We're building a bunch. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these goods. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these goods. And 2 fuel is enough for 2 more settlements. Okay. Spend all that. but I think that might be all I had in me. I'm out of money. I'm very close to being out of money anyway. I don't have any more goods. We'll see what I can do. I'm not calling it quits. Of course, I'll finish this, but I'm not feeling great yet about getting to 20 settlements. Okay. Next year, let's break this baby down. So we get half its resources. So 5 halved is going to end up being 3 after rounding. 3 halved, that's going to be 2 after rounding. 2 there is going to be 1 after rounding. Taken apart. My CV3, my baby, did so much work for me. Okay. And then I just want to see something here about breaking down ships. Undamaged CVs. Okay. I need undamaged, so I need to repair that damage before I can break it down too. It's okay though. This is all over here. All on Olympia. It's messy here, but it's all on Olympia. Let's spend some money. Let's spend 6 billion on some more resources. We could use 1 more of these, 2 more of these. Whatever, let's just even it up. Let's even it up. We'll do 2 more of these and 1 more of these. So that's our $6 billion, 2, 4, 6, and it's gonna get carried. We're gonna have, we'll do 2, 2, and there. Is that how I wanna do it? No, 1 less of this. And 1 more of this. Maybe even actually reverse that, because that'll be 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. That's 5 and 5. That's fine. Well, that's okay. We can do it that way. And now let's have LV3 number 1 go. We'll reverse these though, just so something makes it there. LV3 number 1. 20%, unfortunately. That could be it for me. That is destroyed, but it makes it. I keep saying that's going to be it for me. I'm not sure, though. And then this guy, making the flight. 29, it makes it and makes it home. Exchange this politics marker for $1 billion also. That is movement. This guy is actually also going to move back to Earth. I'll try to repair it. Could be worthwhile. 25 makes it to Earth. Ship build, we're just going to skip right to the end with base building. So 2, 4, 5, that is 1 settlement. 2, 4, 5, that's 2 settlements. 2 more settlements on Mars. We got lots of settlements. Will we have enough, though? Will we make it to 20? I think we're going to get kind of close. I'm feeling pretty good about this right now. Not super confident, but I'm feeling pretty good. All right, that's 2 more settlements on Mars. We're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're halfway. We're 50% there. Next year. We need to repair damage. Okay, so it doesn't cost anything, so I can remove all this damage from Earth just straight away on this turn. Done. Then we're going to spend $2 billion to unreserve it. Do I need to unreserve it? What's that going to be? Is that going to have in any weird way? No, I'm not going to unreserve it. I'm not spending that to unreserve it. I will build another LV3. 5, 6, 7. And then we're getting to the end here, folks. We might do it. So building this LV3. And I'm going to get some more resources. What do I need for more things? I need 1 more supply. It's $1 billion. That'll get me 1 more settlement. I spent this $5 billion for enough to add another settlement totally. So 1, 2, 3 for 5, right? No, I don't need 2 from this. I need 1 of this. And I need 2 of these. That's what I need. Right, because that'll be... This is what I need. 2 supplies. 3 supplies, rather, because that'll hook me up with 4 total supplies there. This will hook me up with 4 total materials and 2 total fuel. That's enough for 2 more settlements, which is great. And then this guy's going to need to get up there, which will also give me stuff. Not enough, I don't think, but that'll give me some extra stuff. Okay, let's have this guy boost first. LV3 with the fuel. 85, no problem. It gets back home, gets these to Olympia. The other level 3. 55, gets to Olympia, no problem. And the next turn, this guy's going to get flown up. Skip all the other phases, get to base building. We're doing 2 more. 2, 4, 4, and then 2. That's enough for 2 more settlements on Mars. All right, 2 more settlements added to Mars. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 settlements. Not too bad. Advance the year. Then I have only $3 billion extra. That is not enough for me to build another settlement, so I'm going to have this LV3 boost this dude up here. 25%, that makes it fall apart, but this guy makes it and is flying to the heliocentric transfer zone and gets a 19. He survives. And then we're just going to advance to the next year because there's nothing else I can do. Movement, this degrades. Flies to the base. 78% does not fall apart. Next year, break this sucker down. That gets me a fuel, 2 of these. Oh no, and only 1, well 2 I guess, 2 of these. Yeah, because 3 gets to 1.5. So I will build another settlement this turn after destroying this. Actually, first I'm going to launch... No, I'm not going to launch anything. I will spend this money at the end of this turn for another settlement on Mars. And then the turn advances. I've got 2 turns left. I am almost out of money. I just don't have a way to get any more settlements on Mars right now, unfortunately. So I'm just going to advance to the end. And that's it. Let's see what we've got. So we've got on Mars 1. We'll put them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 settlements. 13 settlements. And I needed 20 for a complete victory, 15 for a minor victory. And I'm at 13. I just didn't have the economy. I was so close. I felt like I was really close. I felt like if I just had a little extra cash, I could have done it if I just had a little extra money. Some of the malfunctions were a little tough on me. I had to rebuild that LV2 early in the game like a dozen times. Not a dozen, but a few times. Oh man, getting to 13 out of 15 for a minor victory. I was one good build away because I was building 2 settlements at a time there for a bit. I guess so. All right, let's break this down a little bit. What I was thinking of earlier was if it would have behooved me to get I talked a lot about getting engineering put into place, and that did help a lot. But I wonder if it would have really benefited me to try and get up to CV4 for this Athena ship, which would have allowed me to produce resources with my ships during a round if I could have got to space mining. That way I wasn't only collecting stuff from the world cards every 10 years. I could have been doing it more frequently. That's a bit expensive. I would need to go hard on engineering research, which is tricky. I would need 50 just to get to the tech for CV4s. Yeah, I guess I could have also maybe spent my money a little smarter. I did build that alpha base over Earth with the supply station. That would have given me enough for one extra settlement ultimately. Maybe not a ton. I don't. Yeah, maybe more, or maybe going harder on exploration. Just trying to get more depletions, which would mean more politics markers, which would mean more money. I feel like there's a few things I could have done. Maybe I try to make this a little more efficient, trying to get to those 20, even getting to that 15 for a minor victory. Yeah, that's the game though. That's the race for the red planet scenario. I think this game's really cool. I think it's a lot of fun. It's got a very different feel from something like High Frontier. I have not played Space Corp, so I don't know how it feels compared to that. But it feels a lot like it. The way I've said it to people before, in some ways this feels like something between a game like High Frontier and Twilight Imperium. As weird as that might be, considering the harder sci-fi that Twilight Imperium is. There's no alien races in here. It's all Earth-based, organizations. But the fact that you're building ships of differing qualities, of differing attack strengths or movement strengths or exploration values really does make the ships feel different. You have a pretty large fleet. You can make, in the campaign game, I'm sure you'd build, all of these, if not all, like many of these ships. I have CVs up to CV8. I have multiples of many. I have rovers I never used, flybys I didn't use. Flybys in a small scenario like this don't seem amazing because they travel through the solar system from one end to the other, and so this would be a short travel. But in a bigger scenario or the campaign, I think these would be able to travel pretty darn far, the flybys, which would be cool. But yeah, as it stands, I might try this again and try to make it a little more efficient. And maybe at some point I'll stream another one of the scenarios or even start like a campaign or something. Maybe do like a recorded thing for the campaign and like record highlights and discuss what happens instead of doing a full playthrough on camera. But we'll see. Europe's ability to roll extra with telescopes made it pretty good. That was pretty good for exploring, I think. North America doesn't have that bonus to telescopes, and so when I've played with North America, I haven't even used the telescopes. They seem pretty good, though. They seem pretty good. Yeah, it's a cool game. It's expensive. It's like like $130, $150. It's a bit pricey. But if this is the type of game you're into, I think that you could probably do worse for the money. But yeah, that's gonna be the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing them get played, seeing the scenario played, and got maybe an idea of if you'd like the game or not. If you want to support the channel, subscribe to it, or consider a donation. If you go to phasingplayer.com/donate, there are a few options there. And thank you to the people that have been donating. It's very nice little bonuses that helps me buy games like this. I do talk with some companies that are able to provide review copies, but not all do, and Compass is not one. So the money that donators have given to the show have allowed me the ability to go out and purchase something like this. So thank you very much, everyone that supported through PayPal or Patreon. It's very cool. And thank you to everyone that watches and comments and joins the live chats and helps me not get completely decimated in terrible spaceways. So that's going to be it for me. Check out the channel later for some edited videos that I'm putting together. I'm doing something with all the PAX games. As I've alluded to on Twitter, I'm going to do like a kind of a discussion and comparison of the series as well as some other stuff. So yeah, guys, that'll be it. Stay cool, and I'll see you next time. Take care.